6:33. Let's get the meeting running. Adam, you want to lead?
Absolutely. Anyone wants to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll call the meeting to order.
This isn't the plan.
This is the planning board. You're in the right spot.
Oh, it isn't planning board, okay.
Just in time, because we'll hear case 25-001. This is a change of use for, did I say that wrong?
Yeah, it's 25-011.
25-011. Change my glasses. This is for site plan review for 255 Old Turnpike Road, or Sandra Hall. The application is from Sandra Hall requesting a site plan review. The affected property is located at 255 Old Turnpike Road in Nottingham, New Hampshire, and is identified as tax map 16, lot 7. Didn't do introductions, but we have name tags. How's that?
Want me to sit for Danny?
Yes.
Yes, I'll move you into sit for Danny, so you're a full-fledged member. Chris arrives, then it will be, maybe the next hearings he can join in on. So for this case, the applicant is here, and if you'd like to come up, let me just give a little bit of explanation. There's not a lot of information in there, but what I want to do is just go through, describe the project a little bit. There's describe the project and a little bit of the history. So tonight, it is a new application for a site plan approval. It's marked for an amendment, but this is basically a change of use. The building was last used as retail sales, and prior to that, there was a veterinary clinic, and then prior to that, there was auto sales. The site plan that's included in your folder and the application is, or not the application, but the site plan that was in the application is from a previous application and approval for the auto sales use. And that condition, all of the conditions of that approval were met. That was back in 2017. The applicant met with myself as well as the planning clerk, Nick, who was, when he was here, to review the interest in changing it to the auto sales again. So the previous conditions, that any change of use would need to come back to before the planning board. That was a condition of the previous approvals. So we felt it was necessary to come back before this board. And that vehicle basically was the site plan application. We can only go on that previous plan and the conditions that were approved at that time. To make kind of the record clear, we want to make sure that we go through this because there was previous uses, and each time that there was a change of use, those changes of uses came back to the planning board. So, in 2017, there was it was used for auto sales, and then you'll have your time to. Is your hand up for?
Because
Ma'am, please just hold on. I have the floor. I'm going to describe to the board what they have before them. Then you will have a chance to present your application. That's how this board works, okay? It was then in 2020, that there was a use that came before this board It was for Northwood Veterinary Hospital. So it went from a previous use to a veterinary hospital. This was for Northwood that was going to, had a building that was going to be built for them, a new place, and they decided that wasn't gonna be ready in time, they needed some lease space, so they leased the space, which required that change of use. And then in 2014, June 14th in 2023, there was a change of use that came before the board for retail sales. And in that same, all of these applications, the conditions were to come back before the board for changes of use. So right now, we do have, this application is for a change of use to auto sales. And that's, we can only talk about this application. Let's see. So we did go through, Blair did go through the application. There's not a lot in there because primarily it is for only the change of use. I think to make the record clear, we should have a waiver for the topographic survey because that's one of the primary things in our site plan application. So we would need, this does need a motion for a waiver for the topographic survey plan. The intent is that there's already a plan, a site plan that's gonna stay the same. There isn't any changes to it. So to move this forward, we would need a waiver. And then the change of use total, the change is gonna be from a retail commercial to auto sales. Anything else, Blair, that I might have missed on that?
No, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. It is a change of use, but the physical use of the property in terms of like the layout is gonna remain the same. So that's why I feel like a waiver request for the survey is prudent to sort of catch all from what would normally be on a site plan review application. And anything else the board can capture in conditions for a notice of decision. So yeah.
In regards to the previous application that was submitted.
Yeah.
I think there was a waiver for the topo.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you're saying there was a waiver for the topo in the
And
previous
it was
one?
approved by,
I think we should do the same for this change of use again.
okay,
That's my opinion.
I didn't know if you wanted to let it go based on the previous one, that's all.
I'd rather have it included with this one so it's clear. So before we, do the motion or to waive it, the applicant's here, and so I'd like to have them present whatever they would like to present for their application.
I think the one thing to be clear here is what the request is for in terms of uses or use. It's auto sales, as far as I understand it. So when the board approves it, the motion should include what the use is, the anticipated use. So if you wanna speak to that, just to clarify that, I think that would be helpful.
Everybody's done talking now?
You have the floor.
Okay, I'm here because the original application that the planning board accepted doesn't have my signature on it.
We're not
Ma'am.
talking about that application.
We can't talk about
We
that
can't
one.
talk about any previous applications. The applicant for that is not here, so we can't talk about that. If you wanna talk about this application that's before the board, that's why we're here. You wanted to have the change of use, you made the application for the change of use, the auto sales, that's what we're here for.
Okay, so I'm here because I was told to come here. And the reason I was told to come here was because I'm looking for how you ever changed my change of use. I didn't provide a letter of consent and there's no application on the signature. So I want to have my property to the original use, which was, where Best Buy car lot had it, is the original use, where I have this huge garage and I can't park a car in it. And I want an automotive sales with an automotive repair garage is what I had. Before this town went in and they accepted an application without my signature.
Okay, so the use that you're looking for is auto sales and auto repair,
Whatever the Best Buy original,
but you need to tell us what you are looking for.
I want, yes, where, we can sell cars, the plan, hang on, I have the plan right here.
And just to be clear, while you're looking for that, we met and we talked about the best and easiest way to get this, what you needed, what you would like. And this is the process that we went through, and we talked about. So that's what we're going through. That's why you're here, so you can have that use.
First of all, it cost me $1,610. And it's not my fault that this board in Nottingham, because I have from a Supreme Court.
We're not talking about, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about Supreme Courts or, you paid a fee to do this, that's the fee that you paid. You want to have the change of use, that's why we're here. This is the way that we discussed the process is in this town.
Is the process in this town to accept an application from a business owner?
We're not talking about previous applications. We're talking about the application that's before this board right
I
now.
wanted to go back to the original, and I don't feel that I should have gotten charged $1,610.
The outlet for that is to speak to the select board, if you wanna
Okay.
talk about fees. We're here to talk about land use,
The
so,
land use that originally was, is this plan right here.
We do have a plan, that's what, our plan that you presented in the application, which was the 2017 plan that has a site plan of Best Buy auto sales. That is the plan in your application that is before, as an approval before us right now.
Yes.
So if you have the change of use, it is going to be the use for the same thing that was before.
Yes,
That's what we're doing.
yes.
okay, great, so the application's before the board now. I think you needed to make a decision about accepting the application. You need to make a decision about DRI. You need to make a decision about waivers, and then you can proceed to a decision about the applicant, the request to change the use from its current use to a proposed new use of auto sales and auto repair.
So in order to do that, we need to, just list that again.
So first, accept the
Accept it,
application as completed.
And then,
DRI.
DRI, yeah, sorry, I got the order wrong. DRI, then waiver, then decision.
DRI, then waiver. Alright. So, I'd entertain a motion to accept the, application as complete.
I will second that motion.
Make the motion, someone else has to second.
Is there a second?
Oh, sorry, I thought he said he made the motion.
Yeah.
No, I,
He's just looking.
So
for-
moved.
I'm looking for one.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor of accepting it indicate,
So
Or-
is the application complete? The list of abutters is very short.
the list of abutters. No, the
I think
full,
it's-
the full list of abutters went out.
And it's not incumbent upon us to make sure that the list of
Well-
abutters is correct either.
Well, okay.
If they aren't properly noticed and something happens and they weren't properly noticed, then they have grounds to
That's
challenge it, I believe, but it's not our job to
okay.
make sure the
That's why
abutters
I
list.
wanted to know because the only abutter is herself.
I, just here,
it went out to all of the abutters, there was a long list
Yeah,
of
there
abutters,
were
it's just not
Okay.
listed on
It's
this.
just not listed.
And that's why I'm questioning it, cause I'm looking at this.
Yeah, no, there is a longer list of abutters, they went out certified mail.
Okay,
So they
alright,
all went out.
as long
I
as
just
they've
don't
been
have access to
notified.
the cards, anything like that right now, because it's, Nick's no longer here, and
Yep, as long as they've been notified,
Yes.
I didn't think we could accept it if it, to me, it doesn't look complete.
And just, I guess one other question on that, we're not doing anything that has anything to do with monument installations, right? So this was just a blank page that was in there and, okay, it's not
It's
like.
part of the standard
filled-
site plan
okay.
review application.
figured
We don't
I
have a
just-
specific one for change of use.
Just to be thorough, just wanted to make sure, okay.
yeah, because the site plan application is so, covers a lot of things. And for a change of
Right,
use,
right.
there's only a small
Yeah.
amount of things that are necessary,
Yeah,
that, yeah.
well, I figured the butters was necessary no
That's
matter what.
necessary, yep, and those have been notified.
Okay,
So there's a motion and a second to accept it. Any other discussion on the acceptance of that? All those in favor indicate aye.
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 Those opposed?
I'll go along with that.
And then, the determination of regional impact. It's a change of use.
I will move that this case is not, does not constitute a development of regional impact.
I get a second on that?
I'll second.
Any discussion on that? Right, all those in favor of the motion indicate aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. And the waiver, I'd like to see if we can get a motion for a waiver for the topographic survey plan, even though there was a waiver previously, but let's just make sure it's in this one.
I think that's pretty.
Is there a certain part of the regs or something that we are waiving, or are we just in general waiving topographic work?
So the last time, the motion was to waive the requirement to complete survey of the property lines and to waive the requirement to show wetland locations. So that's what was approved in 2017.
I will move the same.
Can I get a second on that?
I'll do it.
Second, Skip, thank you. Any discussion on the waiver? I will point out, as I mentioned just briefly, is that the conditions that were put on the 2017 included some things like showing a dumpster, moving a couple things around, the installation of a landscape firm with a fence on it, and a diversion of some of the stormwater. And that was all completed. The code enforcement has authorized that as complete, so I just want to bring that up, that the conditions of that previous approval have been completed.
One of the conditions was for hours of operation, so if you wanna add that, or, how you wanna do that.
What were the hours of operation?
Note on the plan in the hours of operation based on the original site plan set hours, 11 AM to 7 PM, Monday through Friday. And then service hours of 11 AM to 5 PM and 9 AM to 3 PM on Saturday. So two different sets of hours for sales and service is what they did.
And that's on the plan.
That's what it says here. I didn't confirm that. I haven't looked back at the plan yet to see if that's in fact the case.
On the plan notes, that we have, not on the full size, but just the scanned ones, it appears that note 7 is missing. So if I can just get someone to read that, I don't have my paper.
Boundary information depicted hereon is entirely per the town of Nottingham tax map. This plan is not to be considered a boundary survey,
Okay.
okay?
And the only other thing that I will say is that, the site plan does show, topography on it. So that's kind of a moot point.
As far as the waiver goes?
as far as the waiver goes, yeah.
Sometimes we require existing conditions in addition to the site plan, right? And wouldn't it show topography through the, no, I guess it, no, it does show
It
topography
does,
through,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
it's just a flat area, never mind.
The only comment / question that I have regarding that is the property entirely within Nottingham, or is it also partially within Northwood?
The parcel is entirely within Nottingham.
Okay.
There's an abutting parcel that the applicant owns that's in Northwood.
Okay.
And it's a shared driveway off of Cooper Hill Road or Copper Hill Road.
Cooper.
Cooper Hill.
So you enter through Northwood.
Okay.
I have a question. Is there any way to change the hours from 9 in the morning to 6 or hours open?
What would you like?
I would like 9 to, I got the new tenant, he signed a 3-year lease, he isn't going to be doing garage repairs, but I needed to have the original back. So he wants to, I asked him his hours of operation would be 9 in the morning until 6 in the evening.
5 days a week, 7 days a week?
6 days a week, 6 to 7, but he told me 6, and I'm
Monday through Saturday.
I'm not
What day do
sure.
they not want?
I'm not sure, he might be doing 7 days a week. I
So we should probably,
just do
So
the,
do
yeah,
it for
9 to
7
6,
days.
7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably, but I mean, this is a change from the previous.
Right.
So
I mean,
this is, yeah,
this is a new,
Right, right,
it's going to be,
but-
it's new.
no, just for future reference, this is now officially a change from your prior.
Yep.
So I just wanna make sure we're clear on that.
Did we vote on the waiver?
Not yet.
Or was
Not
any
yet.
discussion?
We're in discussion.
Any other discussion on that waiver? The motion for the waiver was to approve, so
But
is
there is no waiver, is there?
It was
To
a
waive
waiver.
the topographic
topographic
requirements.
requirements.
Yeah,
Is what?
the topographical.
Right, but we don't have a waiver in this package.
There's no waiver request, but we were,
To be consistent and to make sure that this next
Same, yeah.
application
Okay.
covers it,
Yeah.
that's what we're
Right.
looking to do.
and as I read, I'm between like 6 different documents right now, but I read it off and Drew heard me. It was a waiver from completed boundary, oh god, I'm so disoriented right now.
the hours of the auto mechanics, whatever, that's fine, I don't need any change, the new tenant's not gonna have it anyway. But if there's down the road, I'll make sure the next person that comes in would definitely abide by it.
So you still want the 9 to 6?
Please, for the open
Yep.
hours, that's
Yep.
Why don't you ask for 9 to 7,
fine.
7 days a week, you know, give yourself more flexibility.
Yes, that would be
If you're
great.
going to, you know,
That would be great,
For sales.
for sales. And
sales, service, whatever.
Well, the service before was very limited.
Mhm.
It was 11 to 5 and then half a day on Saturday for service.
Right.
But she's asking for a change, so.
Okay.
If she wants to have a change, just
Just
make it
include it.
consistent, include it.
Yep.
Otherwise,
We're doing 9 to 7?
that would be my suggestion, but
Yeah.
you know, it's up to her.
That would be,
That's right.
that would be great.
Okay, let's just leave it with that. Did
And
you
that
find
was-
that language, or do you need
We
to
probably
repeat it,
put
or
8 to 7.
is everybody comfortable with the waiver for the topo, or you want Blair to read
I
it?
read it, Drew said it,
Reasonable.
whoever's
Drew,
gonna
you said it, right?
You can
type it up is gonna have to go.
Yeah, I'm looking
Sandra?
forward to.
make it- request 8 to 7,
8 to 7, okay.
sorry.
Just
I'm just trying to be reasonable.
Just because the
If
tenant
you're,
is
right,
Oh, here it is.
right, I'm trying to make sure you have the flexibility you need if you're going to be specific on hours, you know, let's have decent business hours.
I just
8 to
want-
7 seems reasonable to me.
I think the sales is fine, I think it would just be the service part that would really bother
And,
me.
What's the
and I,
difference?
and like I said, there isn't going to be service at least for 3 years.
It's
But I
daytime.
don't wanna change that option for me as an owner of the property. Whatever that may be in the future.
So here's the waiver request, Drew, if you wanna. Two waivers, one, to waive the requirement to complete a survey of the property lines, to waive the requirement to show wetland locations.
Alright. Do you need me to repeat those, or
Yeah,
those were the two things that I moved? You
yes, you did. So-
repeated them very eloquently, and I
And now
appreciate that.
everyone's heard it, so I think, yes, you can, you guys, you can vote on it.
All those in favor indicate aye.
I,
Those opposed? Ayes have it.
Alright, so you've done the three easy ones.
Well, before we even talk about the approval, we have to open it up for public hearing. So I'll open it up for public hearing. Anybody wants to speak to, for, or against this application, you're welcome to do that now.
I wanna say the
Yeah,
time
just
just
seeing
for the
nobody.
record.
The time's 5:59 or 6:59. One more call, anybody wanting to make comment on this hearing?
Casting down the door.
Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Bring it back to the board for a motion. And the motion, I'll probably just mention a couple things here. So the change of use will be to the auto sales and service. The site plan, and I just wanna make sure the inventory display is in the front of the building and parking is in the rear of the building. So auto sales or vehicles that'll be for sale will be in the front of the building.
Is there a limit to how many vehicles there are and where they're parked and how close they are to the roadway, to block sight distance and property lines and borders, et cetera?
Yes, on the site plan, it is shown inventory display areas. And those are parallel with Route 4 prior to the Cooper Hill intersection, so sight distances shouldn't be any issue.
Yeah, and there's no access onto Route 4,
Check.
so, which is actually quite good. You could, in theory, since we have the plan, it was submitted, or you could reference the plan by date.
I think we should reference the plan, so this.
what number was that?
What, the date?
No, plan, the hearing number,
Oh, this one is.
25, 011.
not this one,
Oh.
the 17.
Oh. I don't have a notice of decision, let me see if it's in, oh, it's, P 16-014-SIT. I don't know what we were doing with numbering back then.
It's changed a lot.
Yeah.
2016, it was the 14th application and it's a site plan.
What do you think the P is for?
Planning,
Planning.
not zoning.
Oh, not zoning, no, it's- you guys, this group, nothing gets by. So, yeah,
Try to keep up, Blair.
yeah, right, exactly.
I was doing a lot of digging on that
My
one.
first day. P 16-014-SIT.
Okay.
And the plan date is,
December 16th, 2016, revised February 10th, 2017.
Yeah, just a 17.
2017.
yeah, just use that date.
The auto repairs is for when, 11 to 3, Monday through Friday, or Saturday, what?
Well, I thought it was gonna be,
The previous one?
Or no, the one that. I-
no,
The one now.
What are you
all
asking
of the
for?
uses are for the
Why am I
same.
asking?
No,
No.
what do you want?
I was gonna say that right now,
We're getting,
You're gonna have 8 to 7 days a week.
That's for the sales.
That's
for
for,
anything.
that's for
That's
anything.
for anything.
Oh, that's for
If
anything,
you-
okay.
If you
8 to
request, if
7.
you wanna request that, that's for anything.
Okay, all right, that's, okay. I just don't want any trouble with my property.
there you go.
Skipper, you're formulating a motion.
I think I am.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna need help. But
So were you done with the conditions that,
Yes,
okay,
I was done with the conditions.
so that was the change of use, the inventory display and parking locations, and then the operating hours?
Yes.
And just be clear about the use.
Yeah.
It's 2 items.
Do you wanna do it? I don't wanna take it from you.
well,
Teeing it up.
I saw the things on the plan here, so I wasn't gonna say those. Is that important?
What's that?
Cause this,
If we're referencing the plan, that it should be fine.
Okay.
so I would like to make a motion to approve case 25-011 SPR at 255 Old Turnpike Road for a site plan review for a business as anticipated use for auto sales and repair, utilizing a previous site plan review P 16-014 SIT, and a plan dated February 10th, 2017 for Best Buy Auto Sales. With a change in hours, planned hours to be 8 AM to 7 PM, 7 days a week. I got it?
And then that the inventory display is in the front of the building and that the parking is in the rear.
Per the
I
plan.
referenced the plan, so.
I think we said per the plan.
Right.
Okay,
Per
that
the-
was already said per
Yep.
the plan, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, missed that.
We can add it. Okay? That do it?
Just to be clear, when you started the motion, you said a site plan review to auto sales and service, but I think you meant a change of use to auto sales and service. I think you mixed up your words, but I just wanna make sure
Well, I
it's
was reading
completely
from the
clear.
paper, so
Okay,
it's a site plan review.
It's a site plan review.
for a change of
For a
use.
change
For a
of
change,
use.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
I just, it didn't come through like
yeah.
that to me, so.
No, I
wanted to
didn't
make
put
sure.
that in. I put anticipated use of, that's what I said.
Okay.
Change in use, yeah. Okay.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Can I ask a quick
More
question?
discussion?
To be clear, there's gonna be no changes to the site, not to signage, not to lighting, not to parking. Everything's gonna remain the same, correct?
Correct.
Any other discussion? All those in favor indicate aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, and it's approved.
Good to go.
Thank you so much. Have a good, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Watch the ice out there.
Yeah, be careful.
I'm going to Florida for the winter. Thank you so much.
Now you can go.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Next on the agenda is the zoning amendments. So in accordance with RSA 675 colon 7, the planning board will hold a public hearing to discuss proposed changes to the Nottingham zoning ordinance. Blair, were you driving these?
Yes, I'll do
Please.
that. Yep. Alright, so tonight is kind of our first playoff game. This is the one that matters, right? We've had a lot of conversations about this, but these have been advertised. This is a public hearing. We have 4 items. I consolidated the definitions into one, whereas before they were like the 2 accessory dwelling unit ones were with the ADU. I just moved everything into one definitions thing. So there's 4. I know we have other ones that you guys did at the 11/16 meeting, November 16th meeting. We're gonna talk about those at the end, that's the document I passed around, but those are not on the hearing schedule for tonight, it's just these 4 items. So that's where we stand. So you were sent a document, it's the one that says guide. This is gonna show, this is 2 things, it's sort of helpful to the novice, it explains what they're looking at. A red strike through means it's gone, red underline means it's being added, anything black is staying the same.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Just bear in mind that these were printed black and white.
You should have color.
Blair passed out, no, you passed out color ones, I think the ones that we got in our packets were
See,
black
when you
and
print them
white.
at home on a color printer, they come out in color.
The town can't pay for color, but SRPC,
The town?
the one
It
that
was
you got
not
in your
around.
packet, the one that I got in my packet was, man, we got the nice one.
Oh.
This is the one that I got from Blair and it's nice and
Did you get your packet?
I did not get one in my packet, so.
Did you get a packet? This is the one from Blair.
No, that's not the packet, the packet is.
Packet.
There you go.
That's
The one that I passed out is for later on.
That's the later on.
Okay, this is not,
This came, did you get it from the mail? Did you get it in the mail?
It's in
I've
that
got
one.
like multiple things, so I got
What's in that?
one packet from the mail that had a bunch of stuff.
You're
in it.
looking for the one that says
I
this
got
at
the
the
thing that he
top, this
passed
is
out.
guide.
We don't have that, we have proposed.
Oh.
It doesn't say guide.
Oh, the
Is
file
this-
name is guide, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I was
Okay,
gonna say,
so
I
this
don't know where
is
you're
what-
getting guide from.
I'm so confused.
That's fine. It came in the mail, it doesn't say guide.
Also,
It's on, it's
The
on
file-
real live
I didn't get
paper.
it in the mail, but
I think I'm having a stroke here, just like, I
Came in
don't
the
see
email.
guide anymore.
Okay.
Everybody says it's there.
Alright, go.
Okay.
So that's the one this is what we're talking about now.
Color if you want
And if
to.
it's black and white, I do apologize for that.
That's okay, the strikeouts are
Live
red.
in Ellen.
Strike, yes.
Even if they're black, they're red.
Pretend.
So yes, as you can see, contents for the December 10th public hearing, appeals process, definitions, ADUs, multifamily and commercial districts. So, we'll do the, Derek, how do you wanna do this? You want me to go through all of them, or do you wanna take them one at a time and vote on them one at a time?
Let's, I don't know, let me just take a poll from the board. Is there gonna be a lot of questions on each one of these?
There shouldn't be, I mean, we've had many conversations about
Then
this.
I'm fine with taking them all at once, but if there's a lot of questions, we're gonna start getting lost. So,
So the only thing that I'm gonna suggest is maybe we don't do that, because amendment number 4 is one that we did have further discussion on during that workshop, and we made more changes to it during that workshop, but it got noticed how we originally discussed it with just the warehousing and manufacturing, but we added additional uses to amendment 4 during that workshop, so there's a little bit of a.
Right.
So is that gonna be a second hearing to, so they're gonna be 2 different ones, okay.
Yeah,
Just
so,
wasn't sure how that was being handled.
we do have to, I have to correct myself, Derek, we do have to take these individually, cause I
Okay.
even noticed a couple of errors on my end in preparing these. So, we will have to do that.
okay, so the first one's the appeal process?
Yeah.
Okay.
And let's just go through that one. And
We can talk about each one as we go.
yes.
Fine.
Alright, so this one, as written, I think captured what the board is looking for. We're adding a subsection 10 appeals to the list under Article 5, Administration Enforcement. And this just defines that a person has 30 days to file from when the decision has been made. Whereas before, there was no timeline. That's it.
December 8th.
Are we voting these?
Yes, just like I said, this,
But we're holding a public hearing.
Right.
right, so I guess you would go through the process of opening the public hearing, closing the public hearing, taking.
Yeah, for each one of these. Yeah, okay. So that's your full description? Should I open the public hearing?
Yeah, open the public hearing would be for the whole thing. You don't have to open them individually. It's one hearing.
Okay. We're gonna vote on them individually
Right,
though.
right,
because there will
yes,
be some-
exactly.
Okay.
We can vote
I'll open the
individually.
public hearing.
Yep.
If public has comments, please raise your hand.
Perfect. The public's also able to write their comments into the board as well in case they don't wanna show up in person for these hearings to make their opinions known. So if anybody out there is watching live or the recording, just know that you can write to the board to have your opinions heard.
Thank you. So do we wanna vote on amendment number 1?
We need to officially close the public hearing.
No, we're gonna keep it open to vote.
Stays open.
All right, great.
I entertain a motion to approve amendment number 1,
I'll make a
the
motion.
zoning. Yes,
Amendment number 1, appeals process to the zoning warrant article.
motion, any second?
I second that motion.
Any discussion on the appeals process? All those in favor of the motion indicate aye.
Alright,
Those opposed? No opposed.
So the next one is definitions. This is amendment number 2. And it has a number of definitions that are added, removed, or edited. You can see that dwelling unit is a entirely new definition. Dwelling unit, single family has been edited. Same with dwelling unit, 2-family duplex. Same with multifamily. They've been edited. And then workforce housing, since we don't have any regulations for it, is being proposed to be removed. We are adding the new definition household.
Wait a minute. Workforce housing, is that on this list? That you're giving to us,
The one that,
page 2? Am I in this? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, mine doesn't have workforce housing on it.
It says-
Dwelling
it's-
unit, comma, multifamily,
Right.
comma, workforce housing, so
Yeah.
it's kind of nestled in there, but it's
Oh, I see it.
the longest dwelling
Right.
unit definition.
Right, it's, the whole thing's stricken.
Yeah,
yes, because we don't have any regulations to
Oh.
have workforce housing.
Okay, but workforce housing is in the subdivision regs,
Probably,
but that's fine, this is zoning, so if it's not in there,
yep.
okay.
Um,
Sorry, I didn't,
Yep, no, you're good. Get it. We're adding household. Multifamily development complex is being removed. Multifamily structure is being removed. Dwelling unit, comma, accessory, comma, accessory attached, and comma, accessory detached are all new definitions. And then lastly, frontage is being edited. This is to comply with, you know, a mixture of complying with state regulations and, you know, cleaning up definitions that are just not being used, either by adding or subtracting. Is probably the best way I could capture all of this. This being said, 2 additional definitions might be considered that were not advertised: mixed use and home-based daycare. Those were 2 that came out of the 11-19 meeting. So they're not here on this one, but in case you were wondering about stuff, you know, we can talk about it later, but for right now, this is what's before us.
but we can notice that one.
Right.
And add it to this,
Yeah, what I would do is if, unless you have any changes for this, you know, so as you know, all these have to go through a second hearing. So we hear it now, we can make changes, and then we hear it for the final version, and that's it, right? So tonight, we can make changes to what's been advertised, which is what's before you here. but we can there's other definitions that came out of that other meeting, so I'm probably getting ahead of myself. I don't really need to mention that right now, but you know, you had brought up the last one, so.
But it is clear, I mean, it is good to note to potentially people that are watching here is that, as you mentioned, they can write in comments. If you're not at the public hearing, there is another opportunity for the board to review those comments and make adjustments.
I have a question.
Sure.
Multifamily dwelling unit, side by side, one over the other, or condominium units. What about detached, such as a tiny house subdivision? Would that be multifamilies?
Well, if it's a subdivision, they're gonna be on individual lots.
Well, I'm sorry, I used the word incorrectly.
Yeah.
The cottages at Back River, Dover, there's several individual houses on one lot. They're rented out as a multi-unit, all rented.
It'd be a condominiums,
Huh?
it would be a condominium.
They're rented. They're detached dwelling units, not being sold.
The occupancy, you know, the type of tenancy doesn't really matter, owner or rental. It's more just the structure and what we're allowing on a single lot. Typically, multifamily structures are considered a single structure with multiple units. What you're describing is akin to a manufactured housing park where it's, you know, one big lot and you have a bunch of individual units on it. But that wouldn't be considered multifamily by this definition.
It's an attainable housing, and it is out there. People are putting up small houses and they're renting them out, and it's a
But aren't they doing it
multi-unit.
on subdivided land, individual lots?
Huh?
Aren't they doing it, is it all a single lot?
In Dover, it's on one single lot. There's one happening in Chester right now. It's 37 units on a 21 acre lot.
I mean, I don't know that the town has envisioned that with its current regulations. I guess it would just.
This would also just be like, we're discussing adding definitions here, right? Like
Right.
this, even if we had a definition for it, that wouldn't allow it, right? We would just have defined what it is, but not really put it into the zoning, at least with this, right?
Right.
This is
Doesn't mean it's
implying
allowed,
it's
it's just-
attached.
Right.
Is I think what he's trying to say. If they were detached separate units on a single lot compared to this, which is a single structure on a single lot.
That would not be a unit, that would be, well, basically, they would be individual dwelling units on a single lot.
Right.
So I think the definition is already there. You're talking about a use, not a definition.
It would be similar to like a cluster development, where the ownership is in, almost like a condominium, where you have the individual areas that people have individual rights to, and then the majority of the parcel is in common ownership under an HOA type arrangement. Which I think, based on the way that our regulations are, would probably be allowed, but would probably also need a either a conditional use or special exception or something like that to be able to do that. That's my take on it.
Right. I'm just asking in general, if we wanted to do something like a small house subdivision, something affordable for young people or singles or whatever, where would that fit in our zoning?
It would be the dwelling unit accessory detached.
Yeah.
That it is defined as that because it's not.
Use will allow multiple of
That's an
those to exist.
accessory use.
Right, but if it's a one parcel, for example, that 21 acre parcel with 37 single family dwelling units on it, you have your single family dwelling unit is already defined.
Right.
It's just your use of how many you're putting onto that one parcel. So that's not part of a definition because you're already defined
Right.
what that unit is.
Yeah, this is just
Check.
definition.
Okay, so we could potentially, like if we're talking about commercial, multifamily in the commercial district, would we say we could add this use to it?
We could
That kind of
potentially, I
thing, yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It would be a use thing,
it would be, right,
Use it.
a use thing, not a, right,
allowed uses or.
And that's what we're working on somewhere in here probably.
Yeah.
It's coming
Yeah,
up.
This is just definitions.
Okay,
yeah,
check.
so I think we're good.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on what's before you?
Let me just ask a question on the frontage, the length of the lot bordering on a road? Is it public road or private road or both?
Well, we discussed this one at large, and this is where this one landed.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not married to this.
I couldn't remember where we landed either.
Yeah,
but-
it was just,
It's- Because the way that the new RSA is written, it allows for development on both public roads, class 5 and class 6, and private roads. So that's why we changed the definition to cover
Just road?
Right.
those three cases, yeah. And obviously, if it was a class 1 or class 2, they'd need to get state driveway permits in order to do anything, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, thanks.
One of the things that I did note is that we don't have a definition for road.
We have it
Or
under,
or
We don't have a
street,
definition for pothole either.
or a street.
if I can point out though, in our definition, we have where, wait a second, let me find it. Undefined terms shall have their usual meaning,
I printed it out.
and the planning board shall have the authority to settle disputes.
there you go.
I think that covers
broad.
not having road
Covers a
in
lot.
our,
Alright, fair enough.
We would
just-
argue,
whoever-
we would be arguing. what a
All
road is.
definitions?
Yeah, yeah. It's whatever Dirk says.
Planning board.
I mean, whoever put that in was quite clever.
All right, so we're all comfortable with amendment 2 being moved forward? If so, can I get a motion?
I'll motion that we move, what
Second,
are you calling these, Article
Oh.
2 or?
Amendment to.
Amendment.
Amendment number 2 for Article 6 definitions to move forward as
second,
printed.
Motion and second, all those in favor indicate aye.
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 I don't know what the Article 6 was, but
It's definitely.
You know what, so we're supposed to be reading the whole amendment.
he did,
Yeah, okay, so I just making sure that we read the whole thing.
so far.
Okay.
Yeah, this is, it's amendment 2 to Article 6.
Got it.
So.
Okay.
Alright, so amendment 3 is accessory dwelling units.
You want me to read it all? So,
Do we need to?
Yeah, I
yes,
think we're supposed to, yes. Cause it's a public hearing.
so the warrant article zoning amendment number 3, it will be, are you in favor of adopting amendment number 3 as proposed by the planning board for the town zoning ordinance as follows? Amend Article 2, C7 to be compliant with New Hampshire state law by repealing it and replacing it with new language to allow detached ADUs and remove any additional requirements above what is required for single-family dwelling unit. Further, to relocate the ADU section to Article 4 in general provisions. General provisions, Article 4. Accessory dwelling units is gonna be section X. Purpose, for the purpose of providing expanded housing opportunities and flexibility in household arrangements to accommodate family members or non-related people of a permitted owner-occupied single-family dwelling while maintaining aesthetics and residential use compatible with homes in the neighborhood. The requirements, accessory dwelling units shall be allowed in all zoning districts that permit single-family dwellings. One accessory dwelling unit, which will be either attached or detached, shall be allowed as a matter of right. 2, a septic system for a single-family home with an accessory dwelling unit shall comply with the requirements of the Department of Environmental Services. 3, no more than one accessory dwelling unit for any single-family dwelling. ADUs are prohibited on rented or leased land. 4, subsequent condominium conveyance of any accessory dwelling units separate from that of the principal dwelling unit shall be provided, shall be prohibited, excuse me, notwithstanding the provisions of RSA 356-B:5. 5, attached accessory dwelling units shall have either an independent means of ingress or egress, ingress and egress, or ingress and egress through a common space shared with a principal dwelling. 6, all municipal regulations applicable to the single-family dwelling unit shall also apply to the combination of a principal dwelling unit and an accessory dwelling unit, including but not limited to lot coverage standards and standards for maximum occupancy per bedroom consistent with the policy adopted by the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, provided that such municipal regulations shall not be more restrictive for accessory dwelling units than for any single-family use in the same zoning district. 7, one additional parking space for the accessory dwelling unit is required. 8, the applicant for permit to construct, lost my place. The applicant for a permit to construct an accessory dwelling unit shall make adequate provisions for water supply and sewage disposal for accessory dwelling unit in accordance with RSA 485-A:38, but separate systems shall not be required for the principal and accessory dwelling units. Number 9, owner occupied of one of the dwelling units is required. The owner occupancy of one of the dwelling units required. Might be missing an is.
Is required.
Yeah, I believe we're missing an is there.
The owner must demonstrate that one of the units is his or her principal place of residence and must submit documentation demonstrating this to the building inspector. The total living space of the accessory dwelling units shall not exceed 950 square feet and shall not exceed 2 bedrooms. 11, the accessory dwelling units shall be converted from existing structures. Not shall, but may. Accessory dwelling units may be converted from existing structures, including but not limited to detached garages, regardless of whether the structure violates current dimensional requirements for setback or lot coverage. 12, the accessory dwelling units do not require the establishment of a separate electrical panel or separate electrical services to the accessory dwelling unit. 13, prior to the occupancy of the accessory dwelling unit, the homeowners shall obtain a occupancy permit from the building inspector. The reasoning for this is to update the the Nottingham zoning ordinance to comply with New Hampshire state law and allow detached ADUs and relocate to a new section for clarity.
Take a breath.
Yeah, there's a lot, and that's a lot when it's on your ballot.
Were there changes that I heard?
Just is missing, and number 9.
Number 9, yep.
Also, the heading there that says Article 4, General Provisions, I don't think that's accurate. I think it's Article 2 that comes from, right?
So,
Go ahead. Okay, it came from Article 2, but it's going to be moved
Oh, it's getting moved to that.
to Article 4.
Okay, by repealing it and replacing it and then,
Yep.
okay, cool.
Relocating
Just wanted
it
to make sure the
to
repeal was in there too.
Yep.
All right, cool.
is it okay the way it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
I
With the
missed that
is.
part that it was moved.
Yeah, with the-
Just
with
the
the-
is.
just I just meant the heading part.
Yeah, the heading part, now that I get that it's getting moved over to that from section 2, totally makes sense, and
Yeah,
section
the
2
reason why is because it was only in the res ag district, but
Yeah.
you have to now allow it wherever single family is allowed, which
Right.
includes town center. So pulling it out, moving to general provisions, and just saying it's allowed wherever primary single family is allowed.
Yeah.
It just,
which excludes it from commercial because commercial has the mixed use, but that doesn't allow for necessarily single family, correct?
it'll have, tonight, the next one, we're gonna talk about multifamily, but there's also discussion of mixed use. Neither one of which is single family. So
Okay.
yes, you're right, it would by the way things are set up, not be allowed, ADUs not be allowed in the commercial district. The one thing you'll have to consider is if someone in that commercial district has a single family right now as an existing non-conforming and wants to add one, but that's an entirely different conversation for another day.
Another day, well, we're talking about this should be the day, there's,
It would fall under non-conformance before it would
Pardon me?
fall, it would fall under non-conformance. Because if you're asking for if you have a single family in the commercial district, it's a non-conforming use. So it would fall under non-conformance, and then that's when you would deliberate it. It's really not a fix of zoning at this point, unless you were to fix commercial and allow single family,
But it allows multifamily anyway, so.
which is not
But-
ADUs.
Right. What, so potatoes, potato, you know, it's like,
Yeah. So, yes, that's the reason for relocating it, and, the only change was is in number 9,
yes.
owner occupancy of one of the dwelling units is
Required.
required.
what if one did say, it says all zoning districts that permit single-family homes, dwellings, but what if that said all existing single-family dwellings? And that way we could cover the
We're
commercial.
interested in capturing future rather than prior that would fall under non-conformance, because the use of single family would be not in compliance with the zoning district, because commercial doesn't allow single family. So it would fall under non-conformance
It's like
regardless.
90 houses up on Route 4.
They're all non-conforming, assuming that they're within 1,000 feet of Route 4.
Most are.
Yeah, I would imagine so. So they're all non-conforming, yeah, I would imagine.
So it just means that if they wanted to have an ADU, rather than simply going through codes, they'd have to come here.
Exactly.
And as strange as it sounds, I don't see where we would necessarily be able to deny them unless it was, you know, egregious that it would be harming the, you know, the abutters or, you know, into the wetlands or whatever. But because of the fact that the state has made it a matter of right, you know, that kind of ties our hands a little bit, but it gives us the chance to review it as opposed to just saying, yep, go ahead.
Right.
And half of
And
them
then-
are open space anyway, so they're all under
Right.
HOAs, which is another whole layer of,
And makes it also that, you know, they can't necessarily have
Right.
ADUs in that sort of situation.
Okay, so with the addition of the word is, are there any other edits to this,
I have a
to
question
amendment 3?
that I don't understand, I'm not an electrician, so just warning you. Number 12 indicates accessory dwelling units do not require the establishment of separate electrical panel or separate electrical service to the accessory dwelling unit. If it's attached, I understand it. When it's not attached, is this an extension cord running over there?
They can still run run out a sub panel, they just
Right.
run either
Sub-
underground or
A
overground.
sub panel,
Yeah.
okay.
Sub-panel's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Right, it's just, it doesn't have to have its own main
Service
panel
from
with
the
a
road.
service
Same thing when you have a
connection,
detached
yeah.
garage electricity, pretty
Okay,
much.
Yeah.
all right. I
You
just-
have an option, you can run the extension cord on the ground, or you could hang it on wires.
You can tie trees.
Yeah.
But if
put
you
it up to
hang,
the
if you
trees.
hang it, you
You
have a
Contractor
won't,
would
dangling
you
recommend
won't get your occupancy permit with an extension cord.
Yeah.
I don't have power in the barn, but there's lights out there. Okay, just checking.
Okay.
So
Anything else?
we would,
One more,
Yeah,
and the reading of it was the one that tipped me off to this. All right, so as we read these, the first part says, are you in favor of adopting amendment number 3 as proposed by the planning board? I think luckily this word amendment is okay. It used, at one point, I think it said article, and the warrant article, the town voting is Article 1. And this used to say, I think, are you in favor of adopting Article 3, which in this case would be Article 4, so it was always off by one number. So
that is true. It could be off by 2, but yes, that's why these are highlighted in green, because we don't know what the,
right,
The border
but
is-
because we're doing the public hearing for this, can we do this in some manner that we don't get the article / amendment / numbering system in there?
I think the
is-
way we're doing it is the way to do it to avoid that, because by saying amendment, this one's always gonna be amendment 3. We don't know what article it'll be, but it'll always be
And
zoning
that-
amendment 3.
That's why I'm asking the question. Some of them were changed in the past to be article, so it was
Oh.
confusing.
Yeah,
separate.
no, I like this, that it's clear, because you have your warrant article and your
Yep.
amendment number,
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
This is how Nick set it up, and I just followed it.
Okay.
So I figured he'd
Good
talk to
job.
the clerk
Yeah, I
or
think I like
something.
this.
So are you okay with the way it is?
As long as that's the intent and what we're doing here, because as soon as it gets changed back to article,
Right, cause
Then it's
number one is
confusing.
always gonna be voting for the offices
Officer,
of, you know.
and there could be an article 2 or 3 or
Right,
whatever.
there could
but
be, but it's usually, these usually go,
It's always off a number. and you go,
yeah,
"What?"
it's always gonna be off at least one.
So the public hearing notice doesn't mention an article number
Correct,
or an amendment number.
correct.
So if the clerk feels the need to change this, I think we're okay with the way we're proceeding, but I teed it up this way.
I like it, I just wanted to check to make sure that there was,
Yeah, I think our i's are dotted and t's are crossed on this one.
So you're comfortable, Skip?
I am.
Can you make a motion that we can move amendment number 2?
I will.
I'm sorry, amendment number 3?
Motion to move to pass amendment number 3 onto whatever we're doing. The public hearing.
The next
to
step.
public,
Is there a second for that?
Second.
whatever that was, sorry.
Alright, all those in favor indicate aye. All those opposed? All unanimous. Great, we're on amendment number 4. Do we need to read this? I suppose so.
Someone will just add is on 9.
Yes.
Okay.
I did add that.
We don't have to condition the,
That's what I was asking. I was wondering.
No. we already discussed it.
I was told to make the change, I made the change, it'll appear in the next hearing.
Right, it'll be in the next hearing, so.
Alright, amendment 4, multifamily and commercial districts. Warrant article, we'll see. Zoning amendment number 4. Are you in favor of adopting amendment number 4 as proposed by the planning board for the town's zoning ordinance as follows? Amend Article 2. D, to be in compliance with New Hampshire state law by allowing multifamily dwelling units in the commercial / industrial zoning district. And further allowing 2 new uses, warehousing and manufacturing. So it would be Article 2, zoning districts and district regulations. It would be paragraph D, commercial / industrial zone, Route 4, parentheses Route 4. This zone extends back 1,000 feet from the nearest edge of each side of Route 4 in Nottingham, but only includes lots with frontage on Route 4. The permitted uses are retail, wholesale establishment, service facility including eating and lodging, theater, cultural center, houses of worship, professional office space, government buildings, mortuaries, educational facilities, multifamily dwelling, warehousing, manufacturing. The reason for this is to update the Nottingham zoning ordinance to comply with the New Hampshire state law requiring multifamily dwellings in the commercial district and allowing additional uses consistent with the district goals.
One thing, the commercial industrial is Article E, not Article D in the zoning.
Yes.
It's a lot of schooling.
It's what, Glenn?
I'm sorry?
E is in Edward,
Yes.
Oh, E.
yeah, not D as in Dirk.
Oh. I'm gonna change it on my phone. You got that on there? Alright. I thought you were talking about Article 2 and Article 3.
No.
Okay.
And this is one where there might be additional uses.
There's discussion at the workshop meeting about adding additional uses, including mixed use. Was that, am I correct?
Yes.
And what? Oh, this is the town center district, yes. If you want, you can just, can we just add that now?
Just add them now and then have the second public hearing with them in it.
So.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
the-
that makes sense.
The first thing on the sheet here was the
It's still
definitions of
district.
mixed use and home-based daycare.
Yeah.
And I believe that we were talking about as part of that, adding mixed use to the commercial industrial.
Correct, and the town center district.
Yes. But just
And
going
then we have
with-
to add a definition as
Right.
well.
Right, but I was just, for this particular thing that we're discussing, it was just for the commercial industrial. Cause that's the amendment that we're talking about.
Correct, we're only talking about
Right.
the commercial industrial right now.
That's why I was
Yeah.
clarifying.
But I think we can add HJKL mixed use.
So what were the L mixed use?
Yeah, I
Any
believe.
other ones?
Nursing home, assisted living, assisted care facilities.
I don't recall us
Elderly
discussing that. Are you going over the things that we discussed to add in at the last workshop?
No,
Or are you just tossing in
said
new
what
ones?
else could we add in there?
No, he said what else was
What
added
else was
What
added?
was, sorry.
at the
Yeah.
workshop.
For this one, it's just, for this district, commercial industrial, it was only the mixed use.
And we also came up with a definition of mixed use as well.
Right.
Correct.
Did you capture that somewhere? Do you have that?
We,
That's right.
Might
No,
be in
no,
the
the
minutes
second-
from there.
The amendment.
It's on the very
it's,
front.
it's on the first page of the one I handed out.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And
Yeah, we've got it.
we'll have to discuss these tonight and make these all separate hearings.
Say that again, Blair.
Yeah, just the stuff from the handout
Yeah.
is gonna have to be a different hearing.
Yes, correct.
Well, we could add the mixed use right now to this
I believe
commercial
so.
industrial
So.
and then add the definition on the later hearing type
The
thing.
reason that I added this one is because it's just a little bit more.
We haven't closed our hearing,
Can-
we can go back.
I have a question about the 1,000 feet back from the nearest edge of each side of Route 4.
Yes.
We talking pavement? We talking corridor, we talking boundary?
Right of way. Because Route 4 is a class 1 highway, and that means that the land underneath it is owned in fee simple by the state.
Okay. So this doesn't seem right. The nearest edge of each side of Route 4.
Yes. So it's saying,
Should say boundary or
Boundary.
right of way, edge of right of way,
Edge of right of way, yeah.
not edge of, what'd you say, surface?
It doesn't
it says
say.
nearest edge
It says edge, it's just,
of each side.
right.
Side implies,
There are some places in
Right.
town here that are 50 feet from the side, that was built 50 feet from the side of the pavement,
Mhm.
not from their front property line.
Right.
And as the pavement widens or gets less or whatever, it should have been, I don't know.
so speaking
Right
to
away?
that, just a little bit. Because of how New Hampshire's law is regarding right of ways, most roads in the state are easements. So your boundary is the center of the road, depending on how it came out and a bunch of other things that don't really matter right now.
Yeah.
But, so what we typically consider the front property line is the edge of the right-of-way easement, whereas your property line technically goes to the center of the road, in most cases. Route 4 is different because of the fact that the state took that as part of the highway when it was built as part of the, I don't know,
East West
1930s or
Turnpike,
whatever it was, yeah. Similarly, 125 in, going from the town, or the state line all the way up through Rochester was once owned by, Boston Main Railroad.
Right.
And that was also taken in fee by the state.
Yeah.
So that's why the nearest edge, works. I mean, it's not necessarily clear that they are meaning the edge of the right of way, but you don't own anything beyond that, so.
But it's really just talking about a measurement from a point.
Mhm.
And whether there's ownership or not, I think it's irrelevant. I think it's just a matter of, we're saying it's from the edge of, the nearest edge. And
What's the,
what's
right,
the
what's the
edge?
edge, yeah, so
Yeah.
that, we're not defining edge, so.
Should it just be 1,000 feet from the
Route 4 right of way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that would be cause,
If that's appropriate language, I mean,
yeah, well, I mean, the edge,
Right.
state could come and pave it 6 inches further somewhere.
Yep.
And
393.
now somebody's non-compliant.
Mhm.
I just throwing the question out there, we're changing it,
No.
so.
The, yeah,
Thanks,
edge
Skip.
of the right of
Any thought?
way or something, or, you know,
Thanks.
I mean, yeah,
Can we add things?
That's what we're doing.
yeah,
yeah, I think so.
right, I mean, that's why we're having a hearing, so we can hear what the public has to say as well as what
What we
And
have to
then-
say?
what we can further discuss and make changes, and we have a final hearing after.
As long as it leaves here untouched and goes to the warrant article, you're good.
Right. From what, yeah,
I mean, I think you have to do it the spirit and the intent. I don't think you could suddenly introduce, you know.
So this could be the zoning extends back 1,000 feet from the nearest right-of-way edge of each side of Route 4.
Route 4 right away,
before, right, yeah. Nearest,
closest edge to the right of way.
So after Route 4 right of way?
How about this? The zone extends back 1,000 feet from the closest edge of the right of way of each side of Route 4.
I just saw a lot of eaches in there.
I mean,
Each his own.
It's
I think
from-
by just saying Route 4 right of way, you're now being more specific.
Yeah.
Because the right of way is also the property boundary, the front property boundary.
Correct.
So that's, I think if you just say Route 4 right of
the
way.
nearest edge of
Cause nearest edge means you're not taking it from the side across from you.
Right.
You're taking it from the nearest.
On the nearest
And then-
edge
and-
of Route 4 right
and
away.
that edge is
cross
defined
out
as-
the- Of each side.
I tried to do that on my phone, it didn't help.
Nearest edge of Route 4.
Of the Route 4 right of way.
Sharpie. Good work.
I know.
Nearest edge of Route 4 right away in Nottingham.
Okay, I feel better now.
Let's see, let's go with that.
I think we should add L mixed use to it as well,
Yep,
since we
Yep.
decided.
I heard you guys say that, so I
Okay,
captured
cool.
that.
yeah.
So, I'm sorry, just to be clear, I'm deleting of each side and then adding right of way after Route 4?
Yes.
That's what I heard.
That's what I heard. In Nottingham.
Nearest edge of
Route
Route 4 right of way in Nottingham,
Yes.
but only includes lots with frontage on Route 4.
Yes.
Right, that part, yeah.
Yep. Oh, that sounds good to me.
And also changing the article letters, right? You have that.
Yes, I captured that as well, D to E. Yeah, that was just a scrivener's error on my fault, that putting it in here.
Any comments from the public? Raise your hand.
There was a comment from the public.
What?
Public said I look bored. My belief is if I'm bored, you guys don't want me involved. Alright, I'll make a motion to approve, our amendment 4 as, annotated.
Is there a second?
I'll second. Go ahead.
I'll give it to Chris.
Yeah.
Each to it.
All those in favor indicate aye.
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 Those opposed, that's unanimous.
Can I move that we also add the definition of mixed use to amendment number 2 since the public hearing is still open? I think we can do that, right?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So adding to zoning amendment number 2 definitions, adding the definition mixed use, a type of development or structure consisting of residential, oops, sorry, I'm reading the wrong one here.
No, you're reading the right.
So-
one.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
there you go.
We have it
Alright, so
ordered.
I put 2, the first one that's in quotes is quoted from you guys.
Second one's the worked up one from you?
Yeah, I would just like for you
Okay.
to consider that, I
Like
added
that.
development or structure, and then I changed the wording a little bit, and then I added such that the uses are individually allowed in the applicable zoning district.
I like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that captured, I think, more succinctly, and yeah, better, okay, so adding the definition, mixed use, a type of development or structure consisting of residential and non-residential uses, provided that such uses are individually allowed in the applicable zoning district.
And we're waiting on the home-based daycare one?
We can add that one
We'll do one at a time.
if you want.
Just a comment, do we wanna say applicable zoning district or underlying zoning district? Because we've got overlay districts too. I don't know if there's anything that would be, like maybe just say applicable zoning districts
Oh, with an S.
with an S, yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, I will amend my motion to add an S at the end of that definition. So it says
Is
zoning
that-
districts.
That's better than underlying?
Yeah, I think applicable is
Yeah,
fine, cause it just,
Yeah,
Okay, motion and a second, was that from Glenn?
sure, yep,
Oh,
second. Or Chris.
all those in favor indicate aye.
Aye.
Are we gonna take on
Take
the home-based daycare one as well?
I'm gonna
or-
make a motion that we add to amendment number 2 definitions, another definition for home-based daycare, an accessory use that includes family care or group family care as defined by state RSA.
I would like to
Anyone
get-
for a second?
I'll second, yes.
Glenn again.
I have a comment.
Sure, it's discussion time.
Defined by state RSA, how about New Hampshire RSA, whatever it is?
So, I'm, New Hampshire I can add in, I got no problem with that. It was unclear which RSA I should actually reference.
Okay,
That's why I kinda kept it a little vague.
okay.
If
I
it's
remember
never-
two of them, that's why.
What's that?
That's, I seem to remember two,
Yeah.
two different.
Well,
And
maybe put an S in parentheses.
RSA's.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, no,
RSA-ish.
well, one of the things that we talked about last time was the fact that, you know, we could just copy the definitions as per the RSA, but we wanted to make sure that when the state comes around and changes stuff, we don't have particular numbers that say, oh yeah, you know, it's 674.14 versus 674.15A
Right.
or whatever.
sets up a mechanism to allow it to automatically update itself when the
Exactly.
state supersedes us, so
Right.
it just makes it easier so we don't have to do this over and over again.
Exactly.
So there's a motion and a second already?
I believe so, yeah.
Yes.
Any other discussion? All those in favor indicate aye.
I,
All those opposed? None of them, unanimous.
yeah,
Roll.
fine.
We just raised our hands.
So that's all of the amendments we are going
For
to
the
discuss
hearing.
tonight,
Well,
for the
no,
hearing.
there's a
So-
couple, there's another one on there too.
On our hearing?
From,
for
Not
the-
the hearing.
Huh?
Not for
not
the
the
hearing.
hearing.
So I can close the public hearing.
Yes,
I will close the public hearing.
7:59.
Thank you, 7:59.
So thank goodness for that workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah, streamlined, right?
Yeah, that was good.
Right, so there's more from that workshop. And that's what this document is.
At that workshop, I know we moved a bunch of them to be at this public hearing, but with the land use clerk swapping out, we just didn't have enough time to put everything together. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's still it's in process. They haven't fallen through the cracks. It's just they didn't get noticed in time for this public hearing, so Blair's making sure that they're together.
And we just took care of some of those.
And we knocked out some of those, which is good.
So the other thing too is, you know, I had to generate these from the meeting minutes, which are not gonna be an exact transcription of what you all intended. So that is, it's actually good that we're not here at the public hearing because I may not have gotten this right, so I wanna make sure that we do.
Yep, no, that's good.
So, yeah, the first page we took care of. Right, yeah, both, yeah, two double changes. So the next one is actually editing, amending, what, we allow for home-based daycare facilities or, daycare services. And you can see it below, you can see what it went from and what it's going to. So where we're at now is that we're still in this sort of like deliberative workshop phase. And what you would all be doing is motioning to put this on a public hearing. Pending any edits to all of these. But I wrote it in the same format as the official ones, just so you can see how it would look.
And that's appreciated because it makes it easier going to the next step too.
Right.
Yes, it makes my life a lot easier. I can also cut down on the black text, so you don't have to read forever if you don't want me to, but I can leave this in for context.
Mean for tonight?
Well, for at the public hearing, so if he doesn't wanna, you know, read.
Maybe if
If
we're
nothing's
just
changing, you know,
changing the section that we're changing and reading that instead of the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
darn
Right,
thing.
well, yeah, because what we hear, what we end up hearing has to go on the ballot.
Did you not get it?
So in the case of this, we only need D replaced D.
Effectively, yeah. I usually give at least the top heading, so I would put G home occupation, just so the the reader knows where to go,
Yeah,
and then they would just know to go down to D, or they should know to go down to D.
one, permitted uses.
Oh, you're right, I didn't see that, yes.
Yep.
Permitted uses.
Right, under section G1.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's a fun treasure hunt, you know, I try to give them,
Anybody wanna talk about C, services?
We did talk about that
Yeah, I'm
last
trying to
time.
find,
I sent an
Hang on, I can
email.
Find my notes.
yeah, that's right, you did, because we didn't really come to any type of.
No, we stopped it because time was up.
Did you
That
look over
brings
the one I sent from Chester? They really kind of nuanced theirs down. It seems like they maybe went through the same thing in the past or something similar
They
because.
must have copied our thing, cause it's had the same heading on it and everything. What I didn't like about that is it had the building inspector doing all of the,
Mhm,
all of
Yeah.
the work kind of stuff.
right.
To me, it seems like it should go before a group of people that are in town.
Yeah, if it's a major type of thing,
Yeah.
it probably should get.
But so I didn't wanna go to that extent necessarily with them.
Yeah.
But the A and B, A being the services that are listed here as services being accomplished within the residence. And then B being services that are provided to,
Outside the residence.
outside the residence.
Yeah.
And listed a bunch. I'm not sure why this one doesn't say et cetera, for instance. It's just a list and it dies. But it seems to me like builders, electricians, HVAC people and all that kind of stuff. And I saw yours.
Yep, I was gonna say, I've got the,
I didn't like the end of yours.
what's that?
I didn't like the end of yours. But that's okay.
So the version that Skip had written, customers off-site include building contractors such as builders, plumbers, painters, electricians, HVAC techs, masons, driver contractors such as limousine or Uber, waste contractors such as trash, sewage, portable toilets, assistance contractors such as landscaping, home cleaning, and other services of a similar nature. The version that I wrote was customers off-site but having a primary place of business at a residence, such as plumbers, carpenters, landscapers, other skilled trades, and services of a similar nature, as long as the business is secondary and incidental to the primary residence.
Right, and that, I liked that because it was more specific. The incidental to the primary residence is important.
Well, and that was my thought as well, is that we can certainly allow these types of uses in residential areas as long as it doesn't morph from, oh, I happen to live where I've got a gravel pit. Or I'm going to be storing, 16 commercial vehicles in my backyard. It really should be something incidental to the residential use.
Right, cause those would be major home occupation,
And
not minor.
and disruptive to the residential character.
Where would that line be drawn though? How would they, would it be just up to?
Well, we
We
have
said
the
six-
lines already drawn,
Yeah,
you know,
no more than one commercial vehicle, no,
no employees outside the household, things like that.
right.
I don't think it's a tough one. And
Yeah,
even-
no,
Even
I-
micro companies got at least three or four vans. At least one or two are on site at all times, usually.
Yeah, and I don't have a
I'm to blame
problem,
for that myself.
I don't have a problem with, boosting whatever those numbers are to, make it reasonable.
Right.
I just think that having it be,
Unlimited is not good.
right, yeah, there needs to be some sort of threshold where it's no longer just, it transitions from being primarily a residence to primarily a place of
Agreed,
business.
Right, it becomes
Where that is,
a resident, it turns residential property into commercial.
Right.
Yeah.
And I guess I don't see that in this home occupation thing. This is intended to be resident related and that kind of stuff. It's the same with the services that are here. I mean, you know, the pet groomer thing, how many dogs can you have there? I don't think that's limited. I understand the incidental to the premises, yep, those words are good. But I'm not sure I understand how, all right, let me try it this way. Is a builder that has his truck in the yard with names and everything on it, is that considered a home occupation?
If it's one truck, they're not working out of the house, they're just bringing a commercial vehicle to their house. I think it's when work is getting done at the house or there's storage beyond personal use. So one truck would be still personal in my opinion, but if he's got a fleet, you know, that would be beyond personal and therefore not residential.
More like a micro fleet, mini fleet. So how does that?
Flotilla.
So in section E of there, it does say all outdoor storage to be visually screened. There are some
There's some restrictions. yeah.
appearance, residential appearance restrictions, employee instructions. It does have the F, not more than one commercial vehicle, which,
I'd be okay with bumping that to 2. You know, 2 seems reasonable.
I mean, I think even 3 would be reasonable. It's just at what point, you know,
Well, 3 would be reasonable unless it was a towing company, right?
right,
Okay,
yeah,
so-
but then at that
So
point,
entry.
you know, if they're storing,
But
you know,
those,
cars that have been towed, then it's a
Well-
commercial operation or a junkyard.
Well, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
3 tow trucks in the front of a house,
Yeah,
it's not what I want as a neighbor.
entirely fair.
but that's the use portion of it too.
Mhm.
That's the use stuff, that's not here. It sounds like the permitted towing we're not permitting towing companies. We're not permitting builders. That's kind of the way I'm reading this, and I'm not sure that's what we want to portray, I guess. I mean, I'll grant you, I don't know what a home occupation is. The definition, you can read the words that are there, I just don't.
You know, you're in a nexus here, you know, a lot of rural communities, a lot of people work out of their homes, a lot of people are finding jobs that are, you know, not office-based, not as traditional in that way.
Especially since COVID,
Yeah, right, exactly,
where it was allowed,
yeah.
you know, so.
So, and then, but this home-based business, whatever community I work in, it's like non-conformance. It's this big giant gray area. It's hard, it's like nailing jello to a tree. You know, it's really difficult to define. The more you go down the rabbit hole, the more things you begin to realize, like, oh, what about this scenario? And you know, it really, putting numbers to it is certainly a way to go. It's
But it's
like
arbitrary.
I'm looking at Farmington, and there's a home businesses, a business which is operated by residents of the premises with no more than 3 additional employees occupying a single-family detached dwelling or accessory structure, which business use is accessory to the residential use and which does not alter the residential character of the buildings, grounds, or surrounding properties.
That's a good way of putting it too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the definition that they have. I'm trying to find the
So they allow up to 3 employees.
correct. And I think that the last part of it about not altering the grounds is a key piece, because that really stops somebody from storing, like outdoor storage of materials, like, you know,
Is that actually altering the grounds by storing something? Storing something doesn't necessarily mean altering.
Well, you'd have to go to the definition of alter. and- yeah, I mean,
The view,
I think there's an argument to be
may,
made
yeah.
that it in fact is altering it, because altering what? You're altering the use of it. Now storage is a use.
Right,
You're
right,
allowing
well,
the
you're
land.
altering the use, not the altering.
Well, I think wasn't it altering the
Didn't say-
grounds, use, and something else? It was like a list of things.
Okay, so I only heard altering the grounds.
No, you're right, I might be wrong, but does not alter the residential character of the buildings, grounds, or surrounding properties. That's interesting. Buildings, grounds, or surrounding properties. I mean,
Or I think maybe adding use into that would be helpful too.
yeah, does not alter the residential character or use of the buildings, grounds.
Right.
I don't know why surrounding properties would be in there.
Well, probably because if if an abutter has an issue with it,
Yeah, but we're only talking about the parcel
I
that's in
know,
question.
I know, it
not-
seems kind of weird.
I'm trying to find the section on
All right.
it.
Doesn't sound like we're ready for that yet.
So, I was trying to do something else. Are you trying to open this up more or restrict it?
It has just become evident to me that the services that are listed here are definitely on-site services. And that we have a lot of builders and plumbers and electricians, that kind of stuff, that have their trucks.
Yeah.
Obviously a business operating out of their home that is, I'm gonna say presently not covered by this thing called home occupation.
Right, but those services don't have to be because they're not conducted at that, in the house. You know, they may do their bookkeeping or whatever. So their bookkeeping is allowed use.
But what
But-
happens when they have 20 electrical vans parked in their
Well,
yard?
that's right, those are not allowed because that exceeds the one.
But if they have the one,
If they
then
have,
what is it?
if they have the one,
They're not on the list. Now, we can certainly delete the list and say services provided to others. But as soon as you put the list in here, which is a very defined list, as a matter of fact,
right, because you have excluded
yes.
non-permitted uses, like auto repair service is not allowed because that's on-site auto sales is not allowed, machine shops is not allowed. On-site lawnmower tractor sales, those are excluded, so those are, sales and service basically. Are non-permitted uses. Sales and like service of something. As opposed to service of a person.
I don't know. The beginning, I was just trying to add some other stuff onto this, but seems to me going the way of Farmington, at least, maybe not total words, but one statement that basically says you can work in your home or out of your home.
It felt like an improvement on some type of definition to capture what we're going
Yeah,
for,
I mean,
for
it is,
sure.
it
It's
is,
not perfect,
it
but-
is,
Yeah.
this is, right, it is kind of all over the place, I agree. It's
The Jell-O. We're back to Blair's Jell-O again. What flavor was that?
So, if you look at the actual zoning ordinance, because this doesn't have.
Right.
It says not more than one commercial vehicle,
Mhm.
general nuisance, parking.
Those are all criteria under major home occupation.
Right,
Yeah.
so minor doesn't have any vehicles. Right.
there a time, is there an amount of time that it's allowed? Like, is it for the better part of the year that they're not allowed there, or?
It just says
Overnight.
not more than one commercial vehicle may be kept overnight outdoors on the
So
premises.
one night, so. That's really strict.
Just says overnight.
Yeah, so like one night, if you have a few of your company trucks here for one night, you're out of regs, you're
Right,
breaking the
right,
rules.
and that's for under major.
What page are you on there? I'm on 28.
29.
28, 29.
Yeah,
Yeah,
where's?
So-
Minor and major, I'm not picking that up.
so at the bottom of 28, it's number 3, criteria for major home occupation.
Major, okay, yeah, got it.
Do we wanna vote on,
On the-
home-based daycare, maybe go through town center and, multifamily development? And, cause that's 2 pages.
Taken care of.
And then look at the lot envelope. And then we can kind of circle back to this one, cause this is kind of a new
Yeah,
one.
this is gonna
Yeah.
Yeah.
take time.
Yeah, this isn't a tweak, and we do have 3 others I'd like us to get through.
Seemed easy at the beginning.
It always, that's what I was saying, this always does, and
I
then
know.
Right, right in the muck and mire.
Alright, we'll put that on the back burner.
So maybe a motion to put the home-based daycare on the public hearing,
Oh,
I'll make a motion.
unless there's any changes to it.
you making a motion?
I'll make a motion to move, amendment number 5 to the public. For home occupation, home-based day care facilities.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor, indicate aye.
I,
Alright, we'll move that to the public hearing.
Okay, so let's look at the next one, which is amendment 6, and this is gonna be our town center district. There was a number of discussed changes. I think I captured it, but obviously I wanna clarify with you. There is one question I have. It's highlighted in yellow, or it's on the back page if you don't have color. It's the bullet. I got some question marks there.
oops, there was-
So what the board decided at that meeting was to add two-family dwelling units, two-family dwelling unit as an allowed use. And then it amended multifamily dwelling unit. So I broke it out into permitted uses: A, single family; B, two-family; C, multifamily. In this case, you chose to limit multifamily from 4 units to 6 units. And then you, as a max, not to exceed. And then you asked me to add mixed use as well as home occupations. Because those were not part of it. Well, mixed use is new, but home occupation was never made a part of this. It's the single family is there, it would be an allowed use. And then that sort of changes the lettering for the rest of them.
So Blair, maybe I could help out on that just real quick. The basis was from Glenn, and basically the residential zone had a single family section, a duplex, and then a multifamily section with 6 units. And then the town section had a different set, and we said, let's try to get those together. Permitted uses in the town section says residential, single family, and multifamily not to exceed 4 units, while in the residential, it had single family, duplex, or multifamily, 6 units. So it was inconsistent, so we're trying to match those up. And that's why you had to add a few extra lines in there because there were 3 lines on the residential section and 1 for residential in the town center district,
Correct.
kinda.
Yeah, I just sort of broke them out.
So I think you've nailed the essence of it there.
The one thing I didn't get though is you were suggesting that you were limiting it to a total of 2 buildings, 2 structures per lot?
And a maximum of, oh, actually, I don't know if that was for the town center district.
I thought that was for, under the commercial.
Yeah, I have a note here that says multifamily not to exceed 4 units per building and a maximum of 2 buildings per lot.
For the commercial?
It's just above my notes for town center, which is why I don't think it was, I wasn't really able to take notes while conducting the
I don't
meeting,
think we
so-
said that.
My recollection was that we were talking about the commercial district at that point.
Yeah, I don't think it was the mixed use that, what I just read off, I don't think that was, or town center. I don't
Yep.
think that was for the town center. I think if anything, it was for the commercial,
Right.
multifamily, not to exceed 4 units per building and.
Cause like
2
we were
buildings
talking
per lot.
about mixed uses and workforce housing and things like that
I-
in the commercial district.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
That's,
I have some recollection of that.
Yeah.
It's not,
I don't have my notes that I
I don't think we
took,
got
so-
into the commercial district that deep because we were we plowed through a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah, no,
We
I,
were that was a very successful meeting, in my opinion. So I think Blair captured it here, and that 2 units per building thing, I'm not really sure where that came from and where
It
that
was
is.
4 units, right?
2
There were,
2 buildings
Two
per
buildings.
Two
lot.
buildings per
Yes,
lot.
that's,
yeah,
Yeah.
4 units per.
I think that we can just strike that from the language here. I
Town
don't think
center.
it has
Nothing to do with town
nothing to
center.
do with that.
So how do you want multifamily to read in the town center district?
I think that the way you have it here, the not to exceed 6 units per structure, is good.
The town center district is like, you're gonna have trouble putting more than one,
I don't even think there's
I don't, yeah.
6 times 2, 12 acres in the town center
There
district.
isn't.
You know, that would be.
Unless somebody was to, tear this place down and build something.
Okay,
Or go true story.
so there's no point in the town center district to limit it to 2 buildings because there's just not gonna get there. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So then
Doesn't
I
seem
can
prudent.
take that part off. And so then if I take off the highlighted bullet, then what I do have
Excuse me.
remaining is accurate.
Yes.
yes.
The town center district. Okay, so that means I've captured what you voted on at the November meeting. So since we're on that same page there, is there anything that you're seeing here now that you want changed differently? Or are we good?
I feel like we beat through this one pretty thoroughly at the first time and kind of tried to cover everything that had come up that we thought made sense to add in there. That was my recollection.
And we did discuss the mixed use, which we added definitions later somewhere here. So
Right.
that, we kind of beat up on that a little bit.
Right. So now we've
Yeah.
already got the mixed use definition that's gonna go to Lawrence, and now we're
So it's item
planning
D
to add
in there.
mixed use here, so.
Right.
Look, D,
Hopefully.
as long as they both pass.
sure, yeah, that would be a little awkward, right?
Cause when one passes, it says, here's your definition of mixed use, or it doesn't pass, and then the other one passes.
You don't have a definition for mixed use, and what is it?
So should we make a motion to?
Sure.
Do it.
Do it.
Amend zoning amendment 6, amend Article 2D, as noted in the printed up page with the item numbers, changing single family, duplex, multifamily, and then adjusting the subsequent numbers.
And moving that to
presented.
public hearing.
Adding mixed use and home occupations.
Adding mixed use and adding this to our public hearing.
And home occupations.
Yeah, there were a couple of uses that were.
in there?
Home
was
occupa-
not.
You didn't say home occupations, it's in there as part E.
That's what the red means.
That's what the red means.
If it's red and underlined, that means it's an addition.
Oh, okay, thank you. I sit corrected,
As amended.
as amended, as suggested.
I'll second whatever that was. We all know what's going on.
It's 8:30.
All those approve?
Alright, good things.
Boy, this one looks scary.
Just make sure you- yep, all right. Okay, so that one is good, which brings us to, this is multifamily development. This one had a lot to it,
You wanna
so.
do 8 first? Amendment 8,
Oh, yeah, sure.
make a motion. We carry that through.
So what I do need though, well, I'll need a reasoning, that doesn't need to be part of the public hearing, you can just give, let me know why you wanna do this. Or tell me what to put in there. But yeah, otherwise,
So I do have a little bit of discussion about this. One is that the 30,000 square foot lot envelopes show up in a lot of places in the zoning ordinance. Not just in this requirement, but it is called out specifically in a number of areas that, for example, duplexes need 60,000 square feet and multifamily need 30,000 square feet per dwelling unit. And so I'm not certain that this is going to exactly accomplish what we were hoping, but
So we may need to
it's a-
scrub more.
that's what yeah. And I mean, if we don't wanna scrub it completely and drop it down to something far more reasonable, I'm okay with that too. But we need to do something about either the 30,000 square feet or the setbacks, one or the other. Like,
Or both. This,
So-
I agree on this, that this has been a continued thorn in our, every meeting. We've had, issues with this, lot envelope and, I've just seen it happen. And it's creating situations where, like on the Mill Pond one, where the lot envelope was in the back and next to the pond, which it shouldn't be. The house should be up near the road. You shouldn't have to put a 900-foot driveway of impervious surface and extend 900 feet of power lines and utilities and add cost to housing. We're trying to go in the opposite direction. It's added a lot of complications. It's stopped a lot of projects. And we need to encourage projects a little bit here. There's a reason for that.
So the next place it shows is under E, commercial industrial zone, section 2. 2B3.
yeah,
Or 2B313, or 2B13.
You have to change it at 6 places in this. in this
Yeah,
zone.
so I got
I mean,
seven,
even the
I got
definition of lot
7.
envelope has
I
it,
know.
and that's what contains the, the hourglass shape, all that stuff that I feel
Right.
like we'd probably wanna keep that part in there, right? Otherwise we'd start getting some really funky looking.
Get them anyway.
Right, so under, and there's a 120,000 under the duplex one.
yep. And the, under the multifamily development, minimum land area for multifamily development shall be 2 acres per dwelling unit. The site shall contain a minimum of 30,000 square feet of contiguous upland buildable soils per unit dwelling.
Okay, that one we can take care of in this.
What if instead of trying to strike it everywhere, it was lowered to a smaller amount instead,
fine
and
with
then
that.
see
Then we're
when.
doing the same thing, I mean,
You still have to go back.
right, we gotta if we're changing it, we might as well change it to what we have to, wanna change it to. As opposed to doing because we gotta change the same amount of things.
Yeah, I guess the 30,000 isn't, I'm just worried about losing things like the,
Yeah.
you know, hourglass effect and, you know, the 50-foot pinch points, but I guess removing those requirements would be this, or the 30,000 requirement would be the same as just lowering it.
We still have setbacks and setbacks from wetlands and setbacks from
Right.
sidelines and roads, and this is a redundancy, really.
Right,
The setback on setbacks.
Yeah, it
basically,
really is.
that's, yeah,
You know, kind of like we were talking about at the last meeting, where, you know, a 2-foot circle of wetlands makes the property unbuildable, even if it's a otherwise perfect lot. You know, I don't see where that helps the town at all. You know, I mean, does it encourage much larger lots? Yep. And really expensive houses? Yeah, that's why the average price in town is what, $750,000?
New houses are over 900,000 now.
Yeah,
If you
like-
have, if you have minimum 2 acres, you're still not, I don't think this change is gonna amount to a ton of new lots being buildable.
I don't think so either. I just think it's going to make it so that lots which are currently restricted because of that area will be usable.
Yeah, I would agree, because you still have your 2 acre minimum, right? You
Yeah.
still have your 200-foot frontage minimum.
right,
You still have the 50-foot setbacks.
right, we haven't changed any of that.
Um,
So we'd be striking it at all these different locations?
Well, all right, so the vote was just in what I have here.
Right.
In doing all of this, I came to the same conclusion that Glenn brought up. Oh, there's a big trickle down effect of this. I don't know that they're prepared for this. So I need to go in and hear what they have to say.
And
And you brought it up.
I was
So,
thinking about it all this week, so.
yeah, so.
So we're gonna table this one for a little
Um,
more discussion, or?
That was a 4-3 vote anyway, wasn't it?
It was.
I think lowering it, as Drew had said, I think is something that could work here and now. It's the elimination of it. Like, so for example, the septic location is listed as, I forget what it says, but it's like, it has to start in it, but it doesn't have to be entirely in it.
Yeah, I was.
Right? So like that's an effect that if you eliminate it, you begin to, you have to wonder what that's gonna do.
Well, we already have septic requirement setback, so it was now
And,
you can't even count those areas where you could put a septic as part of the building area, which didn't make any sense at all.
right, cause like DES allows you to put a septic within, I think it's 10 feet of a property line. Which in Nottingham, that's not allowed. And you can't count a 4,000 square foot area where you could put a septic disposal system because it's completely within the setbacks.
Yeah.
And so the 30,000 square feet, I mean, that's 3/4 of an acre,
Right,
you know?
right,
It just, and given the fact that it can't have any steep slopes, any wetlands, any setbacks of any kind, it seems overly restrictive.
right, your setback is how much of the acre, of the 2 acres?
I don't know, I calced it out.
I know you got it out, which is why I'm asking you, cause you had it right in front of you.
It comes up to like 50,000 square feet out of a 2-acre lot, so more than half the lot is eliminated by the setbacks.
Yeah.
It's unusable. Half of your-
54,000 square feet. Because of our setbacks. And that's not including, you know, steep slopes or wetlands or anything like that.
That's just the setbacks.
That's just the setbacks. And that's for a perfect rectangular
Right,
lot.
right,
We all have those, don't we?
yeah.
At one,
That's kind of, you know, that was my thought process on this is, you know, maybe, you know, okay, I'm doing a project right now in Farmington. They also have a 30,000 square foot minimum, but their setbacks are, I think it's 10 feet on the side and 30 feet on the front. You know, I would,
Their wetland
me
setbacks.
personally, what's that?
I just asked what their wetland setbacks were too.
So it depends, they have two different classifications. Class 1 are real nice prime wetlands, they have a 75-foot setback. And then non-prime is, I believe, 25.
Okay.
But, you know, me personally, I really like having the larger setbacks. Because, like, no offense to anybody, but I don't like being next to people. You know, I like having space. But, yeah,
It's a setback.
but at the same time, having the restrictions of that 30,000 square feet plus the large setbacks make it so that it's, I don't know, I think it's overly restrictive.
I second that. When, just to go backwards, 2 years ago, I believe it was, we were going over this one and same exact thing. We chopped off the 200 by 200 square because it didn't even make sense, because it didn't even fit in the lot to start with, so you could even use, it didn't make sense. And I drew the pictures that you drew at that time, and you said this doesn't make sense. We had approached a matter in the meeting where we said, let's just put 30,000 square foot buildable on the lot somewhere, so that that's a minimum area that's on the lot. So if there's some wetlands or something that, you know, there's 30,000 square feet in the lot, never mind the setbacks. And we were all ready to vote on that, and then Ed jumped in and said, oh, we need the hourglass thing. And then it got, and then added the septic thing, and it just got monkeyed up. And
I mean, I can understand having you need to have 30,000 square feet buildable. I don't necessarily know that it has to be contiguous with the hourglass effect and things like that, because you're going to have lots where, you know, for example, you've got a wedge of steep slopes that stick into the middle of the lot. And maybe you have 8,000 square feet up front and, you know, 14 or 18 in the back. But you've got this one little narrow area that gets down to like 40 feet wide because of the slopes. Or you've got a little bit of wetland that comes across. I just think that with the way it's written right now, it punishes people from being able to adequately use their property. And I totally get Drew's thing about the wetland setbacks, and, you know, once you destroy a wetland, it's gone, you know, there's really no coming back from that in a lot of cases.
That's my
So,
main concern. I'll
No,
say that
yeah.
I didn't fully understand the issue with a 30,000 square foot buildable area that needed to include all of the setbacks, and that was the main thing that set us apart from the other jurisdictions, right? I don't do work in other zoning
Sure.
districts, so I'm not as familiar with what other towns are doing and how that bore out here. And so now understanding that, yeah, that does seem very restrictive. But again, my big hesitation is that our wetland setbacks are not as strong as some of these other towns that have very small, side and front setbacks. And so I'm just very nervous about getting rid of an entire 30,000 square foot buildable area all at once without, seeing what all these trickle downs are. and how it might have other effects. But also just leaving the wetland protections where they're at seems like that could end up with wetland impacts that, you know, could do things that aren't intended. I just think it should, that level of reduction in, you know, as onerous as it is, I think should also come with the ability for the people of the town to vote in stronger wetland setbacks as well, so that it kind of offsets a bit, right? We get rid of this onerous 30,000 K thing that doesn't, we've had builders come to us say like, what, this doesn't really make sense. Are you serious about it? So I get it, it's a problem, and trying to suss it out is not a, you know, an easy, straightforward thing. But my huge concern is that we're gonna be putting some of our wetlands at risk. And it's not just, you know, wetlands don't stop at property lines. They go and they are an interconnected thing. So what somebody does to their wetlands affects the community as a whole. So my suggestion would be, you know, if we are actually gonna go through trying to strike this whole thing, that it gets paired with an increase in our wetland buffers as well. Just so there's a, you know, we're getting rid of this, but we're gonna protect sensitive areas a little bit better too, just so it doesn't have any side effects that go that direction.
I would absolutely support that.
I would as well.
I could put that together. Do you wanna consider boundary setbacks at the same time too? Or is this just 30,000 and wetland setbacks?
I don't know, I mean, me personally, I know that people like the large setbacks, front and side setbacks, cause, you know, it keeps you further away from your neighbors. And if we don't have that 30,000, you know, buildable area messing things up when it, you know, including those setbacks in it, to me, it seems like getting rid of that and, you know, extending some stronger protections to the wetlands, that would cover, I think, a lot of what the people on this board are hoping to see with a change like this. That's my interpretation of it. I think a lot of people have problems with that 30,000 buildable area, but like the front and side setbacks, and like our wetlands. So I think it's a good mixture of all of them, leaving the front and side setbacks the same, increasing the wetland setbacks, and then getting rid of the 30,000 square foot building area requirement.
Right, it's just the front and
So-
side setbacks that, other than the,
The only one I think about is the side, because it's double, right? It's 50 here and 50 here, so now you're at 100.
well, it's
That's-
not,
And the,
not really, it, I
Yeah,
get
it
you,
is.
Each
oh,
side.
each person has,
and the problem
That's
with
why,
that,
it's not the
Stay
front,
with
the
the
front,
back.
the front I understand, because a lot of people perceive rural character from the road,
that would be the.
driving it, so
yeah.
50 foot back, I get, that's in line with your community, but it was the sides that I was wondering.
So
So-
same with the back would be double as well.
Right, precisely, yeah.
100 feet's pretty small.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a
It's
200,
wooded,
it
it's,
takes a
you know.
200-foot wide lot, and you only have 100 feet that you can build it. You can't, you know,
Right.
if you've got a parcel where, you know, you've got a nice little plateau off to one side, you can't build up there because you're within 50 feet of the line, you know, and you know, going to that, I'm okay with the 50-foot side setbacks. You know, I would like them a little bit smaller just to make it a little bit easier for people. But I'm not, you know, I'm not gonna fight for that one. As far as the wetlands go, we have, 3 distances. There's the 25-foot buffer to all wetlands.
Vegetative buffer, right?
Vegetated buffer,
Right.
yeah. 50-foot setback to poorly drained and a 75-foot setback to very poorly drained. You know, if we wanna increase the vegetated buffer to 50 feet and make the 75-foot setback to all wetlands, I don't have a problem with that. I think that Drew, how do you feel?
Huge way, especially, you know,
Yeah.
vegetative, those are one of the bit, right? So for those of you who don't understand what the no disturb vegetative buffer around wetlands and vernal pools is, you know, if you might not be able to build something within a wetland setback, but you could go and mow the entire thing if there's not a vegetative buffer requirement, and that has almost as much impact getting rid of all the vegetation, you destroy the ecology of that wetland by, destroying the vegetation around it. And so those 25-foot no disturb vegetative buffers are meant to keep part of that intact, to limit the amount of damage that can be done through those types of non-building activities. And so, yeah, increasing that to 50 would allow wetlands to be even more pristine and allow for less human impact, and I would very much support those. I think those are very helpful controls for these sensitive areas. So I would agree, increasing the vegetative buffers to 50 feet and then doing 75 feet for all wetlands seems like a reasonable step, and see where that gets us.
So just real quick, just to make sure I know what we're talking about, you're talking about number 12 and 13 in the wetland overlay?
Yes, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, so changing 12 to be 75 feet from any hydric A or hydric B soils. And then part 13, changing both of those. Part A and B. Yeah, sure.
What page?
This is page 16 in our zoning ordinances. And so then changing both A and B of part 13 to be 50 foot, where the vernal pool vegetative buffer is not eligible for a conditional use permit.
All right, sorry, you were talking 13, A and B? both of
Yeah,
those
changing
be
those to
50.
50. And then above that in part 12, essentially changing it so that it's, hydric A and hydric B soils are all 75-foot horizontal feet.
Oh, both.
Yes,
Yeah.
just unifying it into.
So basically, no other structure shall be built or maintained less than 75 horizontal feet from any poorly or very poorly drained hydric soils.
Yep.
I have comments. I live on a lake. There's 568 houses on the lake. I'm not sure how this is going to affect all these people and houses and, yards that are in existence right now.
Existing
We have-
non-conforming use.
Already are.
Yep.
Every
All of the lots on the lake are non-conforming.
Right, every single one.
So-
Single one is not conforming.
Okay, and the second point on the, on this, the setbacks, somewhere along the way, we've gone down this road of making houses really super expensive. And, one of the major costs of a house is the road and the frontage. And if you want to put a road in today, it can be $800 a foot. So, having this extra frontage and extra width and extra lots, and it's very restrictive. Right now, our 50-foot setbacks take off a 2-acre lot, they take off a 1.25 acres of that lot that's unbuildable and unusable. That's people's land. That's people's land. If we're gonna put restrictions on people's land that says you have to stay away from the wetlands, I think we need to make some concession in another direction where they could move their house off to the left or to the right to offset that, what we're
That's part of the
increasing.
30,000, right? We're getting rid
Right,
of the
well,
30,000.
We'll get rid of the 30,000, but we're talking about the setbacks on the lots.
Sure.
50
And
feet is, you showed it on your chart last month that
we have the highest ones
setbacks
by
all
far.
around.
The next highest side setback is Deerfield at 37.5 feet. That's the next highest to our 50-foot side setback. And they're, the
So
next one behind that is 30 in Barrington. and
we
then the
we
rest
need
are
to
20.
find ways to find more housing. We approved 3 lots last year. Our taxes went up an average of 11% this year. And taxes are a simple mathematical equation. It's the tax base in the town divided by the spending. And our taxes went up 11%. If they,
proposing?
huh?
What are you proposing for like a setback?
30 foot,
Side setback
all
or
around.
all around?
All around? So
Yeah.
Front, side, and rear?
Yeah.
I would be more inclined to do that to the side and rear and keep the front at
Keep the
50.
front at 50.
So I'll say we're not, there are a couple other towns that do have 50-foot front setbacks. Candia, Lee, both have 50-foot front setbacks. And then it looks like pretty much every other town, no, that's not true. There are a couple that have differing side and rear setbacks, but for the most part, yeah, the front setback in other surrounding towns are higher than the side and rear setbacks, probably to keep that visual barrier, larger and keep the rural character, right, your favorite,
And
favorite
I
term.
agree with privacy, but I also live on a lot that's a third of an acre, and I actually like my neighbors and people around me and wave and friendly and talk with people, and I guess there are people that are antisocial and don't wanna know who their neighbors are and have that, all this privacy and walk around the backyard naked, but, you know, we need to talk about housing for everybody, not us,
That's what we're
who
doing.
have our personal preferences. Yeah.
So I guess my suggestion would be, why don't we just do what you're suggesting to the side and rear? You know, I suggest reducing those to 30 feet each and keeping our front setback at 50. Between those two things, getting rid of the 30,000 square foot, like, let's see what happens.
I think that's a good compromise if we're increasing the wetlands.
Exactly, right? It's, the idea is to protect important parts while opening up the places that should allow building, right?
Right.
Like, yeah, get rid of some of the side setbacks,
It
but keep
doesn't
the
mean they
rural
have to,
character.
but,
You know,
people can still leave their setback at 50 or whatever, they don't
yeah, they
have
have
to
the choice
do
to
it.
screen it, yeah, right.
They can do,
The setbacks are really gonna just add and subtract to privacy. I don't
Right.
know how much more buildable area it's gonna lead to. Frontage and area are gonna be your two biggest, as far as additional lots, buildable lots. I don't see too many people miss out on lots because of a setback, right? Really? In here, yeah. I mean, the only thing that they can, is if the setback, cause you can't include the setback in your 30K. Right, so I don't see, I mean, at 2 acres, you can find 30K that's outside the setbacks. I know it happens, but I don't think that's gonna be.
You
it's a-
have 3,560 feet to play with. 3,000 square feet, that's, you know, that's not a lot. When you're talking about 87,000 square feet.
Right. I'm just trying to make the point, is if the concern is, you know, if the goal is to see if more buildable lots can be had, then I feel like frontage, so like when someone builds a cul-de-sac, right? It's, the number of lots is gonna be limited by frontage, right? So I think that's your area, but the setbacks,
Maybe we should talk about frontage too.
Well, we're going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Hard right
So
now.
where do we
it's
wanna
already
land?
9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we do wanna try to get through this bigger one.
So,
Well,
my original suggestion, I would still like to put forward to strike the 30,000, to increase the wetland setbacks as we discussed, and move that forward to public hearing.
And the sideline setbacks to 30s?
No, so we gotta have more discussion on this. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
If you wanna make a motion, you can make a motion, but we'd have to vote on it.
For my motion, I'm not gonna include the setbacks, just cause I think it is going a little too far down things, and in my opinion, I agree with Blair, the frontage should be something that should be changed before those setbacks, that would have maybe a bigger impact. So my motion is to move, the edited version, striking the 30,000 from the zoning, you know, where it, as Blair said that he would figure out how to do, and then to increase the wetland setbacks and the no-cut vegetative buffers, as we discussed, making the setback 75 feet all around and the vegetative buffers 50 feet.
And why were you throwing in I think you had made some language about that we can't give a conditional use permit for that. Isn't that a reasonable?
That's already
So
in
that's in there, so for the vegetative no-cut buffer, it says for vernal pools that you can't get a conditional use permit to impact that, whereas for non-vernal pools, other wetlands, you can, you know, if you need to come within that to, you know, you're impacting the wetlands and you need to have
Put your
your
driveway past
roads
it.
shoulder
Yeah.
impact into that vegetative buffer. You can do that with a conditional use permit on normal wetlands, but not vernal pools because of the increased and extreme sensitivity of vernal pools to, you know, human activity and disturbance. So that's already in the regs. I'm just proposing the numbers be increased for both of those
Okay,
conditions.
check. I thought you were adding that,
No, that's
taking out
not,
the conditional use
no,
option on
no,
there.
there still is, that's remaining as is.
Alright,
but that's to change the wetland conservation area.
Right.
Portion,
That's a whole
correct?
different-
That's right, well, it would be to strike the 30,000 from the different, not just striking
From
the
this?
requirements, not
Not just that.
this, but as we discussed, you know, like
30,000
Blair
everywhere.
said,
Everywhere, okay.
everywhere.
Okay.
Right? But increasing the setbacks and no-cut vegetative buffers in the wetland conservation overlay district.
Are we deleting this also?
I mean, yes, that would go away, I believe.
Well, that's why I was wondering.
Yeah, that would be one of the ones that would go away.
Yeah, that would be.
All the other ones would have to go away too.
Right,
So
right.
we
There's
need to
like
look at the sections
more.
that are in, that have that.
I found three, but. I
There's
mean,
like six.
There's six.
There's six.
Plus.
And
plus
each one of
the
them have
seven.
other things in those sentences. We wanna
Correct.
make sure that
Yeah.
our,
It's,
yeah, it's not as simple as just
no,
striking
it's a
3,000
big project.
or 30,000.
Blair can do it.
Well,
So my suggestion is,
if I do it, it's gonna come back before you in this format, not a public
Right,
hearing format.
Right, exactly, it would have to.
So I can play around with it and you're not gonna see it. We might not get to it this year because we're on a tight schedule come January 1.
but the
Right.
vegetative buffers and the pollution control thing are separate. That
Those
can,
would
that
have
can
been,
happen now,
That can happen.
they can,
now,
yeah,
yes.
sure.
and we might as well go for it at this point in time.
I feel like it's
I-
a
no,
better
I-
so that's-
package deal.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm all
it's
for it.
definitely-
I'll vote for the
I
wetlands
think
now,
it
even
definitely
the
needs to be a
30,000 too.
package deal.
I,
I don't know why everyone's so,
I
such a
don't
rush
know
to
why you
change the
wanna
look of
make it a
Nottingham.
package deal.
Because
Somewhere else.
well then, I,
you're then just, you're making your lots even more restrictive.
Right.
I love it. Move somewhere else.
You,
Why we,
Tightening
why is
the
everyone such a
noose.
rush to
I
change the
know,
look of
I
Nottingham?
hear you,
Why don't we take baby steps towards it? Why do we have to do
this is
all
for
or
the
nothing?
voters to decide what to do.
I know, and that's
Right.
why I thought that it
So-
would be a good compromise
No,
for
I
striking the
understand that, but
30,000.
the compromise
And
looks
me
like,
personally, I'm totally like, let's put that forward on its own. I think the voters, did you see like 75% of the voters voted in the steep slopes ordinance like the voters want their sensitive areas protected in town, like very much so. So I don't think this would have any problem passing if the voters muster, if
got no idea.
that's my
But-
feeling.
Yeah.
I don't have, of
Well,
course,
I
any
think that
real
they don't
idea,
have an
but-
idea, you
Yeah.
know?
But whenever this board puts together better protections for sensitive areas, they usually get passed like pretty strongly. So
This is easy.
Yeah.
These two things are easy. The other stuff is not.
I agree.
As
I
Blair
agree.
says,
It's not easy though, because you've all agreed that the regulations are restrictive, and now you're making them you're
Right.
choking it down even more.
Right,
I think that these, vegetative buffers and for the wetlands should be increased, because it would be more in line with a lot of other communities. But if you're gonna try to have a conversation about other reductions to offset it, I think if you do it as two separate votes, you're never gonna get it, and you're gonna end up with just choking down your
okay,
development pattern.
I agree with your philosophy, but I ain't voting on any of that shit tonight. I mean, it's
And to be
it's not
clear-
prepared.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah,
I'll come back and I can.
To
I
be
can-
clear, my intent was not to make things more restrictive in town. It was that if we are going to get rid of this 30,000 square foot requirement and relax some things, that it should be paired with better protections for sensitive areas,
And I
right? It's not
absolutely
just
agree.
an
Yes.
overall
That
like
made sense, but it
trying to
seemed
make
like
things
we gave
harder
an
for
inch.
people. That's not it. It's just
Scramble
if
for
we're
mine.
potentially opening up sensitive areas for development, we need to
No,
make
we're
sure
not
that they're
supposed to be
being
cross-talking
protected.
all the way,
So
just saying.
Okay,
I would agree. So let me come back with something.
okay.
That's good with me,
Because
yeah.
you're right, there is a trickle down effect to the 30K, and I've gotta find it all. You know, I've gotta suss all that out. Because I pulled a lot of it out in preparation for this conversation, but I couldn't get all of it, I didn't have tough time, so,
it's a long meeting.
yeah. All right, so do we wanna table,
Yes.
I guess we table that one.
Yeah, sorry.
so the motion is to table zoning amendment 8.
I so move.
Second.
Everybody?
Yep.
Table?
Okay, so this last one, multifamily development,
This looks scary.
it looks like there's,
Multifamily written out different a lot of places, so that's not as scary.
Damn.
It's
no,
just-
right, so what, all the red line you're seeing, the only thing is it's changing multifamily without a hyphen
Dash.
to with a hyphen.
Yeah.
And then I'm removing these these statements about meet all state of New Hampshire water supply, pollution control requirements or setback of wetlands, because we already have our wetland setbacks. And I don't think that organization exists anymore.
It doesn't.
So for two reasons, that needs to go. So that's the majority of the strikes.
Oh, there's 60,000 square feet there, so that takes care of the 120.
Yeah, that's a mistake, because someone multiplied it by 4 instead of 2. But here's the thing. This is for multifamily development. Multifamily development is 3+. That does not include duplexes. Duplexes are already listed in the permitted uses of the individual zoning districts. I feel like that mention of that in this section should come out altogether and
That whole
focus.
A,
Mhm.
the whole A should come out.
Yeah, A and then, yes, both As, 2A and 3A, correct.
Let me play the other side of that for a moment. I agree with the concept. Because duplex, as far as I'm concerned, is multifamily. So all the other districts that now say duplex,
No, it would stay there and then regulated through there, as opposed to being regulated in the multifamily section, which a duplex is not a multifamily per our definition.
oh.
Right, it's a
I see.
separate thing.
Okay, all right.
It's already being regulated, it's already said that you gotta meet the
Yeah,
the 4 acres, it's already saying that
yeah,
stuff.
okay. So A goes, 2A goes,
And 3A.
and 3A. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I got you.
Alright, so if this is about multifamily, I don't see any other changes until we get to subsection 4, which is the conversions. And if you recall, this is what Chris had brought forward through his experience. Again, what you're seeing mostly is multifamily, the change, but then you all had me strike in section 4, subsection E, and then replace it with the adequacy of off-street parking shall be determined by the code enforcement officer and shall provide a minimum of 1 space per unit. The state won't let you require more than 1 space per unit. I feel like the first part of this is unnecessary. You just say you need 1 space per unit. The only thing that this would imply is that the code enforcement officer could say, you have 4 units with 3 parking spaces and that's okay. Cause he can't require more than 1 unit per state law. That was one of the changes that we discussed a while ago. So,
The functional or dysfunctional part of this was that there was no official process to
right,
Determine
To-
adequacy.
for the building inspector, it had to come to the planning board, and there was no planning board process to approve a parking design, and now that parking is thrown out the window with the state, it becomes even more adverse. So we adopted to say, instead of the planning board having that discretion and, bite of the apple, that the code officer can actually look at the plan and go, wow, here's a parking space in the driveway, you're in, you're good. Instead of having to come to the I came to 3 planning board meetings for that. I met with the building inspector at least 6 times. And I made a building permit application to put parking on my lot, and he says, we have no application for building parking spaces. I said, I want one, and paid him to put parking on, just so we could say, here's parking. Because everybody was confused about there were being parking or not parking, and what is the planning board parking requirements, and he couldn't, his hands were tied and stopped, so
Yeah.
we were trying to pass that power on to the code enforcement officer who issues building permits, who looks at single-family permits and goes, here's your parking, here's your driveway, good. Same thing for 2-family, here's your parking, here's your driveway, good, permit issued, done.
so currently, we don't require any parking anywhere else in the ordinance.
It's in the site plan regs.
And so, in the zoning, we don't require parking. So,
This says you need a site plan to get
Chris,
a multi,
I'm-
and then
I'm
it's in
still
the
going.
site plan.
we don't require any parking. This would say 1. I if we say you need to provide a minimum of one parking space per unit, then it's up to the building inspector to just confirm that. That's implied, as with all things in the zoning, because he's the zoning code enforcement officer. So I just don't know that that line, I feel like that line is adding confusion. I think if you just say one space per unit, you're good.
And so just not having, so the problem, you're saying the problem before was that the planning board was specifically called out
And so he had to
being
come, so Chris had to
determined.
come
So if we just get
before.
rid of the part that says shall be determined by the planning board, it's now implied that the code enforcement
Right.
officer would be the one to take care of it.
Yeah, you say one space per unit, and he says, okay, the zoning says one space per unit, do you have one space per unit? Okay, you're good.
I'm good with that.
But it's already the state law, you need one space per unit, is that right?
Well, it's the maximum you can require.
You can require-
Oh, the max you can.
They can have
require.
more
Okay,
than that.
I got you, yeah.
You can't require more than one.
You can't require, yeah, you could.
You shall have one space per
And
unit.
in some communities that allow up to 100-unit complexes, they might say 0.75 units per spaces per unit.
Okay.
We're not really in the fractional spaces world here in Nottingham. So that's just my thought. I feel like that line there, one, it's gonna give Dale agita, and two, I feel like it's sort of redundant.
Yep.
Alright,
So
so
take that one out.
So
what I would just do is take out the words up through shall. It'll just say, shall provide a minimum of one space per unit.
Or just provide. Can't you?
Yeah, we're just provide one space.
Right,
Yeah.
the adequacy of off-street parking shall provide a minimum of one space
I
per
wouldn't
unit.
get into the adequacy, just,
I think just simply
just
state,
just say-
provide minimum one space per unit.
Off-street parking. Yeah, shall.
oh, I like off-street parking, that's a
Yeah,
good, that's
you
good.
gotta put
That
that.
needs to be in
Yeah,
there.
off-street parking, or a minimum of one off-street parking space per unit, something like that.
Shall be required.
Shall be required.
That's fine.
Yeah, yes, we need to say shall be required.
Okay. And then you had me strike in G, planning board may require such fixtures be screened from fencing and vegetation. Did you ask me to do that, or did I do that?
That was the same thing, that to,
Oh, right, cause it
Present
it
any-
forces you to
you
come back here.
had to go to the planning board and pay a fee and do a site plan and all kinds of other happiness that adds to the cost of, and time and effort.
Yep.
There is one more thing in that section that I neglected to mention, this is, two or more units in a single structure. And, in some cases, there's like a house with a barn, there's one right down the street here where they put an apartment in the barn, it's detached from the house. Up on the board there, there's a barn attached to the house, that building on the left in our town square is a two-family. So some of them are attached, the units in the same building, but some aren't, so my suggestion on this was, instead of in a single structure, it should say in existing structures. It could be more than one, if there's a detached barn, or, there's a lot of buildings out there that have two units in two different buildings.
This is probably where that note came into play for the 2 buildings per lot or whatever.
No, we didn't bring this up.
Where did that note come from?
I mean, that note was when we were talking about.
It's in the minutes here, and I didn't,
multifamily.
I didn't,
don't
see-
Right.
I was here and I didn't
Multifamily.
grab that. So my other suggestion here is just simply, single structure to existing structures, plural, existing. The conversions.
Conversion shall be two or more units in a yeah, cause you're
In
converting,
existing
so it's an
structures.
existing structure anyway. Yeah.
Right.
So Chris, would it be that the barn, oh, you're saying that if a barn is attached,
It's a
still
single
one
structure, but if
structure,
it's a
but-
detached, then you can't use it.
Right.
For this purpose.
Right.
okay,
Or that could be a detached garage with a big room up above, maybe instead of an ADU, detached ADU, it's a second unit.
Can we start finishing up?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're getting real close, we're getting real close. So,
No, I'm,
yeah,
Sorry.
alright, what's the final, final say on that one? I'm just changing it from, single structure to existing structures,
Yes.
was that? Okay. Okay. What was the language,
for E,
yes, please.
A minimum of one space per, or one off-street parking space shall be required per unit.
It's not determined by the code enforcement officer.
That'll be
Yeah,
applied,
that's
since the
implied.
planning board isn't invoked there, the implication is that the code enforcement officer will be enforcing this code.
Perfect, okay.
John, you say
Don't
it
worry,
again, I'm
I'm
sorry.
not sure we're
a
taking
minimum-
ourselves out of this.
A minimum of one off-street parking space per unit shall be required. Or the other way around, as long as all those words are in there.
Yeah, I had it a different way, I
The
should have
intent
just
is there.
stuck with it, but whatever, I got it from you. A minimum of one off-street parking space per unit shall be required. So it's that, single structure to existing structures, and then remove 2A and 3A regarding duplexes.
And did you have G in that section too, the planning board?
Yeah, I mean, that's
requirement?
already here, I'm talking about changes from the changes. Yes, G is already on here.
Okay, alright. So do we need to make a motion to,
To move that to the public.
alright, I'm gonna make a motion to amend number 7, amend 2, F, and Article 4 as highlighted on this page and discussed. Is that satisfactory? And move it to town amendment,
Public hearing.
public hearing.
Second.
Motion is second, all those in favor indicate aye. Aye. Good.
Can we table the minutes?
Yes, let's table the minutes, we've got some other business that can get tabled. We have public comment, but nobody's here. And the next thing would be adjourning.
I motion that we adjourn.
Second.